evening, everyone. Good evening, Obedient. I hope everyone is doing well.
Sorry, please,
Yeah.
please wait, please. Please, guys, invite the whole world to this place right now. Please, invite the whole world to this. I don't know how much to tell people what we're about, the information they're about to drop on this platform. So please, invite the whole world to this place because education, if there's anything we need to use to get angry with the corrupt leadership in Nigeria, is what will be discussed on this place today. No jokes apart, I think for me, information from this place should be the greatest ammunition we need as a people to tackle this satanic evil leadership. There is no reason why you will come out here and listen to what is underneath your soil in your state, and you will hear a stupid governor tell that he's waiting for money from Abuja to fix that state. There is no reason why. So please, guys, let's get these people, our brothers and sisters. Let them know something is going on today. Is important. Anything, please have the specific away.
Hey, voila. As I was about to start the last time, I'm sorry. I think my Wi-Fi died. Please, I beg of you. As Saddam said, call everybody to today's space. Today's space is not a Tinubu bashing or all those things. Today's space will be more about what you have as a Nigerian. You cannot be a child from a rich and wealthy, generous set of parents. Criminals, a bunch of outsiders, a bunch of world-renowned thieves are running your finances, running your blessings, running them aground. And every day you are managing while they are sharing millions to go on holiday after 73 days in office. So let's get into this. Nigeria, I have always told Nigerians on this platform, I don't support breaking Nigeria up. I don't support dividing Nigeria. Why do I say this? Nigeria is a marriage that has not even been given a chance to thrive. So I cannot support its divorce, at least just yet. Nigeria has 36 states, but a quick Google search will show you that on public record, there are 44 solid minerals that have been identified in Nigeria. This is from thevaluechainng.com. Nigeria, Africa's largest economy and most populous nation, is blessed with 44 known different types of mineral resources in commercial quantities. You can find mineral resources in a location, but it might not be of commercial quantities. There are a lot of places in Nigeria that you can find crude oil, but you don't just go there and start digging and mining them up because they are not of commercial quantities. So the amount of solid minerals that have been identified in Nigeria already in commercial quantities are 44. They are found in over 500 locations in the 36 states of Nigeria. I was watching a YouTube video on Burkina Faso. I was Googling, I was checking the countries that have gone through a coup d'etat recently to find out if the people are unhappy, if they are protesting. And I found out that in Burkina Faso, their biggest solid mineral, their oil and gas, their mineral, their thing where they come up from earth, where they cause problem, is copper. Copper. There are some countries in Africa that have only 2 solid minerals. Some of them have 3. And they have not collapsed. Nigeria has oil and gas, sunlight, good soil, 200 million people. That's workforce. And then 44 solid minerals in commercial quantities found in 500 locations. I don't think you understand how blessed Nigeria is. So let's do some further digging. I'm sorry, guys. Can you guys hear me?
Go on, bro. Go on.
I'm sorry. I had a call. So according to this report, it states that. Sorry, let me just get this client out of the way. So, according to this report, people are wondering what are solid minerals. You know the word gold, this, that. So, just in case you don't know what a solid mineral is, solid minerals are elements found on the earth and in the earth that include naturally organic substances that are solid and precious. That's why you can also call solid minerals precious metals. You can call solid minerals precious stones. So, a mineral, for it to be a solid mineral, it must be found on the earth, in the earth. It must be solid. It's not a gaseous, it's a solid mineral. And then it must be precious. Hence the word precious minerals, precious stones, precious substances, precious solid minerals. Now, it gets so crazy. Yeah?
Insist. I bet no verse. So that's the reason why inside Lord of the Ring they call it my
May
precious.
God bless you. Solid minerals are that precious. Remember, the ring was made of gold and it could only be burnt in the volcanoes of Mordor. But that's a different, that's the nerdy side of me going ahead of myself. So now, just to give Nigerians a big cruise about how blessed this country is, I tell you people, that Nigeria as a country, as a geographical location, has no problem. The problem with Nigeria is Nigerians. Then the problem, Nigerians as a whole have no problem. You will never meet a Nigerian randomly and they will give you problem. The problem with Nigerians are Nigerian leaders. Let us get the balance. There's no problem with Nigeria. The problem with Nigeria are Nigerians. And the problem with Nigerians are the Nigerian leaders. So, if you remember and remind yourself that solid minerals are the result of mineral and organic formations in the Earth's crust over millions of years, then you can understand why even pre-independence Nigeria, the British were here building railways from Enugu to. Now, when I want this kind of submission, now some kind of mad people go, they call my phone. Come on, we get out of here. So, can you guys hear me? Okay, now in Nigeria, let's just do a quick test of solid minerals and solid mineral deposits.
Can people stop calling NCs, please? You Ministry of Solid Minerals. Ministry of Solid Mineral Affairs.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, we can hear you, my brother.
sorry, guys. All right. So this was some research I did. I told you guys that there are 44 solid minerals that can be found in Nigeria's 36 states. So let me do a quick breakdown of locations of solid minerals in Nigeria, state by state. Are you ready? Are you people ready? I don't know how God can bless one country. You see the way Tinubu, you people are 36 states, then Tinubu bless you people with 48 ministers. I don't know how there are 36 states in a country. God bless Nigeria with 44 solid minerals. Look, the diamond deposits in Katsina is enough to gather 10 groups of friends, 20 AK-47s, and shoot up the entire village where those diamonds are found, shoot any police or army that comes near you, buy guns on the web, buy guns that can bring down aeroplanes, shoot everybody there, construct a deal over the dark web with some Chinese miners, bring them to that local government and keep killing everybody and the environment. The amount of diamonds alone is worth it. I don't have an evil mind, but when I see the benefits of terrorism, I understand. I don't have an evil mind. But when I see that Nigeria is not giving people employment and people are putting their hand in crime, I don't support crime. But I understand. It is simple economics. So let's make this space very interesting. Now, in your mind, remove oil and gas. Keep it one side. Let's start with these states, state by state. Locations of solid minerals in Nigeria by state. Abia State has in commercial quantities salt, limestone, zinc, lead, and oil and gas. Number two, Abuja. Abuja, that has been dull to the point that people only go there to collect government money, in the words of Amechi, and go home. Abuja has the following solid minerals. Saddam, are you ready for solid minerals that you cannot pronounce? Let's start here. Cassiterite. Abuja has a solid mineral called dolomite pagasley. Gold. Abuja has a solid mineral called Lear gemstone tantalites. And marble. In Abuja alone, there are 5 solid minerals in commercial quantity: cassiterite, dolomite pagasley, gold, gemstone tantalite, and marble. Number 3, Adamawa State has magnesiite, kaolin, gypsum, and a solid mineral I'd never heard in my life called bentonite. Number 3, Akwa Ibom has solid minerals, limestone, oil and gas, salt, uranium, clay, lead, zinc, and a weird solid mineral called lignite, Lignite. It's in Akwa Ibom. Go and find out. Anambra State has the following solid minerals. Peter Obi, number 1, because Peter Obi is a solid mineral as far as I'm concerned. And then the following: phosphates, oil and gas, salt, clay. My grandmother's house back in the day was built with clay. Anambra State has glass. There are glass factories in Anambra State. Sand is in abundance in Anambra State. Gypsum, lead, iron ore, limestone, and lignite. Bauchi State has the following: gold, gypsum, wolfram, coal, limestone, lignite, iron ore, clay, cassiterite, which is actually called tin ore, and columbite. Bayelsa State has gypsum, clay, lead and zinc, lignite, limestone, oil and gas, uranium and magnesium. But I promise you, the only mineral being mined in Bayelsa or being taken seriously in Bayelsa today is oil and gas. The list is endless and I must read them for you. Benue State has marble and salt, limestone, lead and zinc, iron ore, gypsum, barite, clay, coal, and gemstone. Borno State has clay, bentonite, diatomite, gypsum. Borno State has hydrocarbon in commercial quantities, kaolin and limestone. Delta States, the big hat that they've told you is only oil and gas in Delta. Delta State has gypsum, clay, glass, marble, kaolin, lignite, iron ore, and then oil and gas. Ebonyi State has zinc, salt, lead, and gold. Did you know that there's gold in world tradable commercial quantities in Ebonyi State? Has Dave Umahi ever acted like somebody that knows that gold exists in Ebonyi State? My beloved Edo State has marble, oil and gas, limestone, lignite, gold, gypsum, and iron ore. The old Edo kings wore so much gold, it was one of the major reasons why the British dealt with them. The Edo State had so much copper, iron ore, that they were using it to create artifacts and do decorations. Ekiti State has granite, feldspar, kaolin, cyantite, and tatum. Enugu State has coal, lead, zinc, limestone. Gombe State has gypsum, gemstone. Imo State has salt, phosphate, gypsum, lead, zinc, lignite, limestone, marcasite. Cross River State has lead, zinc, barite, lignite, limestone, uranium, oil and gas, and manganese. Kaduna State is so blessed. Kaduna State has a long list of solid minerals. Always note the states that terrorist activities happen in this country and their solid minerals. Listen carefully. Kaduna State has amethyst, they have clay, they have feldspar, they have gemstone, they have gold, they have graphite, they have kaolin, they have kyanite, they have mica, they have rock crystals, they have rubies, they have sapphires, they have tantalite, they have topaz, they have tourmaline, and they have asbestos in only Kaduna State alone. Kano State has tantalite, lead, zinc, glass sand, gemstone, copper, and cassiterite. Katsina State has marble, diamond, salt, and kaolin. Kebbi State has only one solid mineral on their list. But guess what solid mineral it is? Gold. Gold. Kogi State, dolomites, coal, feldspar, gypsum, iron ore, gold, feldspar, columbite. Matter of fact, the entirety of northern Nigeria has more gold in solid minerals than southern Nigeria's entirety has in oil and gas.
N6, 6 to 7 months ago, I said on this platform that northern Nigeria is more richer than southern Nigeria in resources. Some people were in the comment section saying it's a lie, it's a this, it's a that. I say if northern Nigeria know what they have, they will be the ones saying, let us divide. They will be the ones, but the problem is that it is their wicked leaders that are stealing this money for themselves. Why tell the rest? Look at religion, look at culture. Don't even know that you don't know that we have this. You don't even know we have this. Keep them blind, keep them uneducated, and steal these resources for themselves and for their families.
Oh yeah,
Continue,
keep
my
them
brother.
fighting each other. Rather than you to get the whole people of Kaduna State together to mine them, tell Kaduna State that you have the highest solid mineral deposit in Nigeria. Divide them along southern Kaduna and northern Kaduna, Muslim and Christian. Muslim governor, and deputy governor, while you leave Kaduna State with a debt portfolio of 60 billion naira and $580 million. Nasir El-Rufai, may you never see the corridors of power in this country, and may you go to prison in this lifetime. You are a bastard. I move back to my discussion. Kebbi State has gold. Kogi State has dolomites, coal, feldspar, gypsum, iron ore, gold, feldspar, columbite, and cassiterite. But Kogi State is cursed to have leadership issues back to back. I think that state has the daftest set of Nigerian governors since democracy came in 1999.
Them and Abia. Abia has just been liberated.
Abia has just been liberated. Kogi is still in the doldrums. Back to Kwara State, tantalite, mica, marble, iron ore, gold, feldspar, columbite, and cassiterite. Lagos has bitumen, oil and gas, clay and glass. Nasarawa State, please note the states in the north, but they paint the picture of the north being an arid desert region to even northerners themselves. Oh, the north, nothing goes on in the north. Oh, it's just food. No, just the plant, agriculture. Plants, rice. We're all farmers. We'll all be farmers. Farmers or headsmen. Farmers or cattle rearers. Ndioshi. Nasarawa State, quartz, tourmaline, tantalite, talc, sapphire, salt, mica, limestone, iron ore, galena, marble, feldspar. Niger State also has zinc, lead, gold, and talc in enough quantities to shake the world market. Ogun State in southwestern Nigeria has phosphate, limestone, kaolin, gemstone, feldspar, clay, and bitumen. Please, I beg you people, help me ask Aliko Dangote if Nigeria has one of the highest deposits of limestone, a solid mineral used in the making of cement. How the fuck do we still have one of the highest prices of cement? You people should be helping me to be asking Aliko questions, because this is clearly questions his prostitutes in Atlanta will not ask him while he's cuddled with them under the duvet. They won't. But he wants us to respect him in Vawulence Space. When he's cuddled with his butt poking out under his duvet, please, why is cement expensive in this country if every state in Nigeria has limestone deposits in commercial quantities? Where is the subsidy on cement? Where is the subsidy on cement? The fleecing of Nigerians is enough, for God's sake. Peter Obi said it, and I totally believe him. People have stolen money in this country till they have theft fatigue. They don't thief tire. The Nigerian rich have stolen money. They've sat down and bought Ferraris for all their daughters. They don't know what to do with money anymore. Even their prostitutes, they've brought all their prostitutes, G-wagons, car, house, even their prostitutes. There's nothing to buy again. They've stolen so much money. There's no more enjoyment for.
Facts about California energy policy. California shut down about 25% of local oil production in the last 4 years and now imports 75% of the oil we use, mostly from foreign countries, resulting in even higher gas prices for working families. Learn more.
100 and I think 280 naira a day helped us to open up a food bank at the Lekki toll gate, and we were feeding an approximate of about 1,000 to 2,500 people every day. That food bank was about 200 to 300,000 naira a day, literally solved hunger in Victoria Island. But Lagos is telling me we can't have a food bank. Nigerian billionaires are telling me that they can't bring out 500K every day to solve hunger. My problem is that fallacy statement, one day the poor will have nothing to eat but the rich, is a lie. The poor have never robbed the rich. The poor will go and eat the middle class. The poor are also cowards. The rich will fly away in their project, in their PJs. The poor always eat the middle class. So let's go back to our solid minerals. If you hear your state, say aye. We stopped at Ondo State. Ondo State has oil and gas. Oil and gas, limestone, kaolin, gypsum, granite. Who remembers a beautiful solid? Osun State has tourmaline, tantalite, granite, gold, columbite. Oyo State, tantalite, talc.
Please call Osun State again, because I know someone that told me that Davido's family, they mine the gold in Osun State. Please call Osun State this way.
Osun State has the following solid minerals in commercial quantities and in abundance: tourmaline, tantalite, granite, gold, and columbite. Saddam, I need to remind you that about 25 years ago, tantalite made more than 100,000 people 100,000 families in this country multi-millionaires in 1 year. Tantalite. And that tantalite is still existing, still being used in the world, and is still deposited in every part of this country. You said you saw tantalite in Plateau. There's tantalite in Osun State. Oyo State, there's tantalite, talc, silmanite, marble, kaolin, gold, gemstone, dolomite, clay, cassiterite, and aquamarine. There is gold in the north. There is gold in the east. There is gold in the southwest. There's gold in the south-south. Now, Plateau State, always remember the states, I always drum the states that have the highest activity of terrorism have the highest number of mineral deposits. Plateau State has a weird mineral called wolfram. Saddam spoke about that. They have tin, they have tantalite, they have columbite, they have salt. They have another solid mineral called molybdenum. They have marble, zinc, lead, kaolin, iron ore, granite, gemstone. Plateau State is so blessed. They have fluoride in commercial quantities. They have emeralds. They have coal, clay, cassiterite. They have bismuth. They have bauxite. They have barytes. Misbariate. It's a solid mineral. River State. They call it, when you hear rivers, you hear oil and gas. When you hear weekends, oil and gas of River State. Nalayo, River State has a sand called glass sand that is used to make glass. River State has clay, lignite, marble, and then oil and gas. Sokoto in the north, salt, silica. Sokoto has sand. Sokoto has potash, phosphate, limestone, laterite, kaolin, gypsum, granite, gold, flakes, and clay. Taraba State has kaolin, zinc, and lead. Yobe State has a solid mineral called soda ash. I have to go and Google that alone. Zamfara State, last but not the least, has cotton, gold, and coal in commercial quantities. I have just read you 36 states of Nigeria and the FCT and every single mineral deposit found there. And please remember, every single mineral deposit I have named for you is found in commercial quantities, enough to make you a power broker at the world stage. The oil and gas in Nigeria is so much that Nigeria is in OPEC. Nigeria is in top 5 oil producing countries in the world and has been for the last 40 to 50 years. I need you to understand that we have 44 solid minerals that will put us in the top 5 trading of every single country that trades those minerals. That Nigeria is literally the Garden of Eden. This is where we need each other. If the North breaks up from Nigeria, the Northern leaders have done a complete job on the minds and mindsets of those people. The North will never, I repeat, find enlightenment on their own. That enlightenment will come from the South. We in the South will educate, enlighten, and tell them and speed up their own social awakening. If we break Nigeria into 2, their leaders know how to deal with them. The North is the only, I say this without fear or favor, the North is the only region in Nigeria with a retarded terrorist group. Think about this. IPOB, like it or not, says they are fighting to emancipate their people. Sunday Igbogo, like him or not, is pushing for his Oduduwa Republic. The only terrorist group that arose in the North got up and said, Boko Haram, no to Western education. That is a terrorist group that does not want their people to be in spaces like this. A terrorist group that wants their people to be debating Quran upside down while they are fleecing them. The North leaders of the political leaders of the North want Northerners to believe that go to the farm. This farm is, you see, this North, the land in the North. Look at the surface of the land, but they don't want to tell you people about what lies underneath. So that when you are on the surface, they will send their killers to kill you on the surface. I've always asked myself, why do Saddam asked that question? Why is it a business must go to where it's commercially viable? Why do kidnappers go to villages in Nigeria? You go to a village, you kill the people, you chase them out of their village, and then the government will come in and somehow give that village to the people who chase the people out. And it makes sense. If a village has a deposit, and you have done a great job, you've deleted history from books, you've deleted knowledge, you've deleted the ASU system, the lecturers are daft, book not enter the children head, and maybe that village is sitting on bauxite, limestone, laterite, diamonds. You get a bunch of Nasir El-Rufais, you arm them, you send them to that village, they shoot up everybody in the village, chase everybody in the village away, they take over the village, but you will never hear that those terrorists used that village and started their own community. You will never hear that, oh, these terrorists, they needed a home so much. When Buhari was asking for Ruga, that every state in Nigeria should submit 30,000 hectares of land, you would think that it was, oh, let's carry these homeless headsmen and put there, let them born children. And it's a lie. It's a lie. Nigerians, wake up, especially northern Nigeria. There is a prayer we will all get together and pray as Nigerians. And I will be urging certain regions I won't name to pray that prayer more seriously than others. And that prayer goes that any evil we might have supported in this country, knowingly or unknowingly, that is going to come back and visit my region as karma and nemesis, Lord, let it pass over from us. Because for too long, northern Nigeria has been helpful in the continued trouble of this country. A man came out and said, I want to harness the vast land in the north. One other man came out and said, I want to dance, but I'll make Muslim, President Muslim, Vice President Muslim, and you went and voted in that direction. A former coup plotter came out and they told you he was a reformed Democrat, and you went and gave him your vote for 8 years. Today we're finding out that he stole from the CBN so much that Abacha is a saint today. But that is your hero. Say, Baba. Today, protest is no more haram. Then Northern Nigeria, nobody is going to protest. I personally support that anybody protesting in this country should be violently dealt with. I'm sorry, but at some point we have to sit down and start telling ourselves the truth in this country. It was all fun and games. There is no region in Nigeria who supports, uplifts, promotes their political leaders like Northern Nigeria. And there is no region where their political leaders want to kill them like Northern Nigeria. Peter Obi will say there's poverty in the north. Northern Nigerian influencers will come out and say, who gave him the right to speak on it's our poor, is it his poor? Your poor is now affecting my index and indices. So dear Northern Nigeria, you have it all. As far as I'm concerned, if Nigeria broke up today, Northern Nigeria could either be one of the most powerful countries in the world or one of the most terrorized. It will never be mid-ground. Because what you allow is what will persist. I repeat, what you allow is what will persist. You are here, you are seeing them making excuses for Nasiru El-Rufai. Oh, he was this. This is what he would have done if he was in power. The same nonsense. But you have regions that fight the wicked leaders from their region. When wicked criminal leaders from certain regions in this country come up, as much as they will use their sycophants and try and make it look like they're popular, you will still see a substantial number of their citizenry and their tribesmen saying, this man does not represent us. But in Northern Nigeria, you don't know where you stand. You can speak against Nasiru El-Rufai today in Kaduna and get mobbed. Northern Nigeria will build a stadium and name it after Sani Abacha. Oh well, at this point we're having a space on solid minerals. But I let me tell you that any space on solid minerals, we are literally discussing the blessings of Northern Nigeria and why they are the way they are. Read the entire list. When you check solid minerals in the south of the country, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Northern Nigeria, 13, 15. But Kogi will come out. That madman in Kogi, a man that is so mad, he destroyed a federal expressway so that people could not go and vote for a candidate that was in an opposing party. Do you remember Yahaya Bello? You know, you people forget. Yahaya Bello he used Caterpillar and destroyed the federal expressway leading to his opponent's village. Things happened in this last election that we must still go back and discuss. People carried Oro in broad daylight in Lagos. In Kogi, they brought, you saw the videos. They removed the road to somebody's village. And you said this is democracy. Tomorrow, when Army will get up in Nigeria, you people will say that this thing we are doing is democracy, Abi, and Cameroon and all the other neighboring countries should come under ECOWAS and fight Nigeria and bring back the Nigerian democratic president. This thing will be the Duchenne democracy. What was done in the last election, was that democracy? Binani carry money, pay person announced Binani as governor. And APC was celebrating the first female governor elected. You need to hate APC. Hate APC. Oh. I beg you Nigerians, hate APC with all your might. I have told the people that I don't do music again. I'm no more singing. I'm no more retweeting my music. I'm no more commenting on Afro beats. I have a million banger questions, sexual related, that can get me 1 million views on Twitter. I don't have anything I do again. I wake up in the morning, I say my prayers, I remind myself to hate APC, and I go about my day. And you should too. These people condemn PDP, 16 years of PDP. We've given them 8 years. Look at where we are. And then you people went and gave a criminal drug baron the presidency. When you see these people attack Obi Ezekwesili on Twitter, it is not for her opinions. Obi Ezekwesili was not the only minister under Obasanjo. She was minister for solid minerals and went a long way to exposing the solid mineral crimes in this country. They know why they attacked that woman. Go and Google Obi Ezekwesili, solid minerals. Dear Nigerians, my submission today, have sense. Northern Nigeria, a man called you. Look, Nigeria is a man that had 3 children. One of the children is good in business. One of the children is a genius. And the other child is reserved, but has the most gifts. That family can only work when all 3 come together. That family can only work when the intellectual from the Yoruba harnesses the business and powerful-minded spirits, the business spirit of the Igbo. And then you put all of this with the power and the workforce of Northern Nigeria, and then the gifts under the sand and under the soil of Nigeria as a whole. If you break Nigeria into 3, the Yoruba will still need to cross the border to check what the Igbo is doing. The Igbo will still need to check the border to see how the Yoruba is handling things. The Northerner will still need to check the 2 borders to see how the Igbo and the Yoruba are handling things. The South and everybody, and the middle, everybody will still need to learn from each other. So as far as I'm concerned, Nigeria is a union that we have not given a chance to survive. If you want to help Northern Nigeria today, as Peter Obi comes into power, you will need the graduates and the children from Southern Nigeria that you have been raising their academic cutoff for the last 40 years. That is where the intelligentsia will come from. You will need the Yoruba, you will need the Igbo. You might need the Igbo's finances. You will need the Yoruba's intelligentsia to go and harness the agriculture in the north to bring us up to world standards. Then you can harness the power, the people in the north. You then harness the geniuses in the north, because those people, the military genius minds in the north, will be needed in the east to help us fight the criminals in the east. The people of the east will be able to tell the people of the west, don't follow Sunday Igboho. That's how we made a mistake and followed Nnamdi Kanu. And then the people of the west can then know that anybody that is telling you Oduduwa Nation is a criminal, the one that said Biafra Nation he didn't do it. And then everybody learns from everybody, and we have one mighty whole. But if you want to deceive yourself and tell yourself and support these criminals that, look, I started saying this at the beginning of this movement, there are many people in the APC, the presidential candidate of the APC, Bola Tinubu, that will destroy this kingdom just to be able to reign over it as king of the ashes. Bola Tinubu would rather be president of Nigeria that is at war for the next 4 years than to not be president of a peaceful Nigeria. He will lead you people to war. Meet. Why does a president serve France's interests, but he does not speak French? Where is this love for France? Are we an Anglophone or are we a Francophone country? And like I said before, Saddam took this out of my mouth, and this is where I will wrap up. If a man has 1 uranium deposit and he was doing business with another man and the business spoils, and you have 9 to 8 uranium deposits that you have not even used at all, and that man calls you and says, come and help me fight this man, Joe. Let him give me back that 1 uranium deposit that I've been exploiting him on since. Are you sure? Are you sure that man is not eyeing your 9 uranium deposits? Are you sure this war in Niger is not fake? You will go to Niger. Then one day now, they will carry 1 plane, carry bomb Lagos. And maybe, Oyibo people that carry plane and bomb their own building in their own country to go to war in another country. They carry Oyibo plane. Oyibo bomb the world's biggest building in their country to raise anger to attack another country. And you are here Oyibo is raising anger in Nigeria to attack another country. Are you sure? You will just see Niger Airlines. Niger Airlines will just land boom inside Lagos. We will now be angry with Niger. Meanwhile, it's our 9 uranium untapped deposit they are eyeing. Be very wary when a fool leads you to war. It just might be your own life that they have agreed to waste. Be very wary when a fool leads you to war. It might just be that it's your own life, you that you have sense, that they want to go and waste. Nigerians, our tale on solid minerals is a lot, but I will continue later on in this space. God bless you all. God has already blessed Nigeria. Let's do what we have to do to enjoy a great and prosperous Nigeria in our lifetime. All eyes on the judiciary. We will get our mandate back and get APC out of power in this country. APC, anytime we remember that name, we must spit on the ground and curse them to high heavens. And then we can go back to rebuilding Nigeria. We have 44, I repeat, solid minerals in commercial quantities. Talc alone has 40 million metric tons in this country. Please, I beg of you, anytime you hear that Nigeria is this or that, fight anybody that is trying to put up the sentiment of breaking Nigeria. Nigeria must work for all of us in our lifetime. There is more than enough in Nigeria to make everybody happy, rich, and paid. These people know why they persist in making us poor, daft, and uneducated. They know what they are doing. They will not give ASU 30 billion, but Tinubu will send 30 billion to the judiciary to share. They know why they don't want you educated. They know why they will make headway against every single terrorist group in this country. But somehow, a terrorist group that says no to Western education has been reigning supreme in Nigeria for 13 years. Nigerians, Ronu, I yield. God bless you all. God bless Nigeria.
God bless you, my brother. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Hey, NCZ, thank you, my brother. What an amazing submission. As in, I've just been glued, listening and learning. And I'm like, sometimes you take my temperature go high. You go not come down, I'll not come and say, oh, what is happening? What's happening? This country is just so blessed. It is a shame. It is a shame what we are passing through. It is a shame that, and it is painful. And it is, as in, for me, it is, as in, I don't get depressed, but seeing what we have as a country.
You read to depressed person.
And you know that the most painful prayers that we make in Nigeria is that God bless Nigeria. God will be in heaven and say, you people are mad. Bless you with what again? God bless Nigeria with what again? What do you want?
That is why people don't understand that. That's why heaven doesn't answer our prayers a lot anymore.
What do you
Nigerians
want
don't
me
know.
to bless you with?
What do you want? What more do we want God to do?
I've blessed you people. I've blessed you with everything you need to be the most successful nation on earth. I've blessed you with human capacity.
So he blessed us with one of the world's greatest politicians in Peter Obi. What more does God need us to do? God blessed us with Peter Obi. All of us came out to vote for Peter Obi. One person, Mahmoud Yakubu, sold this country out. What more? Does God need to come down from heaven and kill everybody? Does he need to do it?
He has done his part.
He has done his part. God gave us 44 solid minerals in out of 36 states. Saddam, God has tried.
We have not even touched. You know, when Peter comes up, Peter never speaks about his mineral resources. He always emphasizes
just agriculture alone.
On the agriculture alone. On the agriculture alone is enough to transform Nigeria. We can feed the world. We can feed the world. As in, I'll make some videos. I traveled to some part of in Amsterdam. When I traveled there, I was, bro, if you see how these guys are farming. Niger State, Peter always said that Niger State is 3 times the size of Netherlands. If you see what these guys are doing, and Netherlands are the second exporter of food products in the world, doing over 100 billion per year in food. And Niger State alone is 3 times the size. So We are too blessed that I keep saying, tribalism and bigotry. God bless my Saturday Watching for that space you're hosting on ending tribalism and bigotry. Tribalism and bigotry is what we have to kill. So that Nigerians we can, as a united force, face this freaking criminal elite class.
Saddam, do you know what is even more painful? If you know the amount of the deposits in Nigeria, we don't have any solid mineral in less than tens of millions of metric tons. Saddam, do you know what 1 ton is? Do you know what a metric ton is? Do you know what 100,000, then a million, then tens of millions? Saddam, let me even bust. Saddam, let me bust your head. I'll even give just in 2 minutes. Let me just do this. Let me just do this because iron ore.
Jimmy coming next. Go on,
iron ore in Saddam, iron ore in Nigeria has 3 billion metric tons. Iron ore. Gypsum has 9.6 million tons. Lead, zinc, 10 million tons spread across 8 states. Bentonite and misbarriates, 7.5 million tons of barriates have been identified in Taraba and Bauchi states. Large bentonite reserves of 700 million tons are available in other states. Gold in Nigeria. The proven reserve of gold in Nigeria is located in the southwestern part of this country. Bitumen has 42 billion tons. Bitumen has almost twice the amount of existing reserves of crude petroleum in Nigeria. Bitumen, we have twice the number of bitumen than we have oil in Nigeria. Coal has 3 billion tons. Nigeria is so blessed that we have 17 different identified types of coal with 600 million tons of proven reserves of coal. Rock salt, 1.5 billion tons. But Saddam, kaolin, 3 billion tons. Bro. I won't go into details, I beg. This solid mineral space, my full submission is like 3 hours.
My brother, I beg you come for part 2, please. You come for part 2 because I really want to hear people's take and what as in it's because it's crazy. It is crazy. Jimmy, my brother, I don't know if you're in Coastal.
I know they Costco like that. I know they Costco.
Jimmy, please. What you do now is when you come in on the space, you identify yourself where you are and how many minerals are you representing? You go tell me I get gold. Like, hey, God.
My brother. Hey, this is Thursday where you don't drop that topic. I've been doing some digging and man. All right. I'm not gonna do much talking. I'm gonna be playing a couple of audios for people to listen to. But let me pick it up from where NC stopped. From the submission NC's made. He mentioned the 36 states that has natural resources in Nigeria. Well, actually, the 36 states in Nigeria, and they all have natural resources. And I'll put the website on the Jumbotron so people can actually have access to those things. The funny thing is, it's on Nigeria Embassy's site, right? And they actually acknowledge that with Abuja, it is 37. So I'm just talking about an FCT now.
You see when I said it, you might have flown over a few heads when I said it. Correct, guy.
Bro, I heard it and then I thought about it. I said, look, these guys, they actually put 37 states here. When I saw that, I said, okay, that was the number one thing I picked. The number two thing was, out of all the states you mentioned, 3 particular states struck my attention. That is Nasarawa, Kaduna, and Jos.
That is the core middle belt.
Bro, Nasarawa, Kaduna, and Jos. You see, Nasarawa has 22 solid minerals, natural resources. Nasarawa. Kaduna has 19. Jos has 24, making it the state with the highest amount of natural resources.
Jimmy. Then do you know what caps it up in Jos? Jimmy.
Just
Jimmy,
34.
Jimmy, there is nothing on earth. There is nothing on earth that does not grow in Jos. Nothing on earth. Apple, strawberry,
Agriculturally, strawberries
nothing on
growing
earth.
just.
Jos is the only state in Nigeria. When I moved from UK back to Nigeria in 2008, Jos was the only state I was able to have strawberry, cauliflower, cabbage, and I think Irish potato. Yeah,
Hey!
Jos.
Oh!
You're
Irish
right.
potato.
You're right.
Those are the only places I got those things. I felt like I was in UK because these things were there in abundance. We are blessed in that country. I said something when Saddam was giving his submission. I interjected him. Gas, where we never use for Nigeria, reserved gas, where we never use for Nigeria. I'll tweet it. I'll put it on the jumbotron. Is worth $804 trillion. No be naira. Oh. No be naira. They talk. Oh. 804 freaking $1 trillion. It was published by Punch newspaper in April 2022. I'll put it on people can Google it. I'll put it on Jumbotron later on. I was on the space this morning before I came to Vawulence Space, hosted by my lovely brothers, Oladipupo, Jobedient, and I think Olariwaju. Basically showing and letting people know that there are different ways you can make use of energy in your houses. Inverter, they build inverters. You don't have to depend on gas. They build inverters and they use different types of method to bring energy into your house. There's a generator that you can use ordinary vegetable oil to work. Different, concepts. And it put up some stuff on the Jumbotron, and I checked those things. You see, the devices that it was using, the devices it will use, or they will use, because the three of them are into it, they will use to put light in your house, to build an inverter in your house, right? Those devices, the materials required to make those devices, everything is in Nigeria. Every single material needed to make those devices is in Nigeria. The mobile phone you're carrying all around, your Android, your Samsung, your iPhone, every single material used in making those mobile phones, the materials can be found in Nigeria. We have them in abundance as a natural resources on our soil, on our lands all over the place in Nigeria. You see, I am leaders in because they've deliberately done it in a way that they don't want people to know what is going on in that country. You think oil and gas is the only thing we have? Jesus Christ of Nazareth. I was speaking about California. California. A gram of Californium, a single gram of Californium is $27 million. $27 million. And we have it in tons in Nigeria. Uranium, we have it in tons in Nigeria. Niger no fit near us for the amount of uranium we have. Niger, they no fit near us with the quantity of uranium we have. There is another one they call rhodium. Rhodium per kilogram is $135,000, and we have it in tons. When I put it on the Jumbotron, every single state CISO mentioned earlier on, I'll put it up on the Jumbotron. There's a link to it. You click on it, you see all those states. Now, I want us to do something, right? Let us be intellectual about this approach. Click on the link, check out these natural resources, check out these precious stones. You know, the clay, the aluminium, silver, you know those ones. Click the ones or pick out or write out the names that sounds strange to you. Write them down. Google them one by one. Google what they are used for. right? Google what they are being used for and check their prices on the world market. You will be stunned. You will be shocked at the level of money that is being stolen from that country. I've seen a lot of comments in the comment section. People putting up links of Chinese people being arrested for illegal mining. It is mad going on in that country. But before I proceed, let us listen to this.
In 1995, the need to look for resources to run African states became an issue. Nigeria was more or less totally bankrupt. The need to run Nigeria became an issue. Salary payment was difficult. Then Libyan government, along with Germany, decided to utilize a satellite from a private satellite company that has shares of government of Germany in it. They discovered uranium in abundance and in high quality, well spread in Nigeria. Out of curiosity, that leader and other leaders decided to say, scratch part of Nigeria and let's take a look. They were shocked. In Northeast, they discovered a portion. And that portion, in part of Zambia, leading to Lake Chad. What was deposited there? This is not hearsay. I was in Libya, I was in attendance, along with Nigeria's ambassador, two of us allowed. Then he was later told to go, and I was left alone, along with the Libyan leader and the German company and the owners of the satellite. What was kept there was capable of producing 10 Dubais, 1996. You can quote me in the eyes of this world, Mustafa said so.
Did you guys hear that? In Sambisa, through the satellite that was produced by the German company and Libya, they scanned Nigeria.
I said that's my submission now.
I heard that.
I
heard it. I'm just backing it up with what you said. What was deposited there? Don't get me wrong. Oh. This is not the whole of Nigeria. Oh. They only did it around that area, that Sambisa area. They used the satellite to scan that area alone. And what was found in that area alone is capable of producing 10 Dubais. 10.
Param, Jimmy.
Bro,
then guess what?
Dubais.
Jimmy, then guess what?
Yes.
Terrorists are now living in Sambisa
Of
forest.
course. Of course. That is their zanga. And it is very paramount for us to let people know, our northern brothers and sisters, you need to start getting education about what is going on your land. You've been bamboozled. You've been brainwashed into believing that you don't have anything. Nadia Babiala full past. I said it this morning. You have what it takes. But you're being treated like slaves. You are princes. You are princesses. But you're being treated like slaves. That is just a portion of the northern part, northern part of Nigeria. A portion. And guess what? This was way back in 1995. Way back in 1995. And he said this afterwards.
At the end of the day, to cut the story short, is to tell you that Boko Haram was a calculated game.
Did you guys hear that? Boko Haram is a calculated game. This is what they've done to chase people around from that location. If you're on that location, you won't feel comfortable with people coming out with instruments to dig in your land. So they stole it from them. They chased them away. They stole their land and they start mining their natural resources. Epo ni koko la ni o. Epo Robini Kokolani. Crude oil is not the only natural resources we have in that country. We are blessed beyond measures. We are blessed beyond expectation in that country. You can't compare us to any other country in this world, honestly speaking. But guess what? We have ruiners in power. We have people that the only thing paramount to them is just greed, benefiting themselves. They don't want people to be educated enough to know that this is what you have in your possession, on your land. They don't. They took away social studies. They took away history. These are the ways we can go back and understand what the problem was and what led to that problem. The oil in Nigeria is a cause because evidence shows that in Nigeria, the oil we have is more of a cause than progress for us. Because there's clear evidence, strong evidence, that the mismanagement of our leaders towards this oil and gas in our country has not benefited the economy in any way. None whatsoever. But instead, they have private jets. They have all sorts of useless, unnecessary things that they use just to spite the citizens. Then, when they drive in their billions of vehicles, they go, they do, yeah, oga, that is where we are in this country. My northern brothers and sisters, it is time you know the little ones here on this space. The space is recorded. Connect it to your speaker. Call all your peoples around. Let them understand what is going on, what you've been told, the lies you've been fed. Educate them. Let them know this is the game these guys are playing. The war that this way he wants to go. He doesn't even understand what he's getting into. You think they don't have the satellites to scan Nigeria to see the amount of uranium? Something that they've done since 1995. So this one now, it believes is the chairman, custodian of democracy. Wants to go and invade Niger. Exactly what Sisu said will be the intention of what they want to do. Exactly. That is where they will have base in Jos. They will have base in Nasarawa. They will have base in Kaduna. We don't need war right now. Kill and Wakiri. What are we looking for? But this man is bent on looking for every avenue to get legitimacy. Regardless the cost, he doesn't care. He does not care what will come out of it. He doesn't care what is going to cost him. Obedience. I'm glad and I'm proud to be part of this movement. I've been enlightened in so many ways. My eyes have been opened to so many things that I've not even paid attention to. This is part of it. We are blessed in that country. It's high time we start making use of that. We are blessed. The video, I still have a couple of videos, but I want us to have enough time for people to speak, come up, and give their own submission. I'll be rounding up now. Share the space, retweet the space. Let people come and get educated. I can say on the Jumbotron, someone put up the picture already. Yes, mobile phone. Every single material needed to make that, you have it in your country. Go on the internet. All those ones that Ciso has mentioned, I will put it on the Jumbotron too. Go and search them. Check how much they are being sold on world markets and check their uses. Check what they use them for. A lot of them, we have it in Nigeria. The particular rhodium and their californium, they use them to create mini metal detectors to search for water on ground, to search for oil, to search for gold, to search for silver. It is so precious that they had to sell it $27 million per gram. Gram, not per kilogram, per gram. Nigeria is blessed. Take it or leave it. Welcome to Vawulence Space. It's the Saturday edition. It's promised to be a beautiful one today. Thank you for listening. Are you back to Saddam now?
Thank you very much, my brother Jimmy. Thank you. The answer all, but I want to. I please calm down. Calm down. You will come. You will come. Calm down.
No, 1 minute. 1 minute.
All right. Go on. Shoot.
Fantastic. This will blow your mind. Google is the gift that keeps giving. Follow me to the book of Google. Type South Africa gold deposits information. South Africa is currently the 5th largest producer and trader of gold in the world. Diamond and gold production are now well down from their peaks, but South Africa is still 5th in worldwide gold production. Now, follow me, sweet children of God, to April 6, 2016, 1 year after Buhari and APC got into power. Type El Rufai, Kaduna Gold, South Africa. El Rufai, Nasiru El Rufai, governor of Kaduna State, on this day said that a single local government in Kaduna State has more gold than the entirety of South Africa. It is on Google. I didn't say it. Saddam didn't say it. Nobody said it. You can't arrest us for fake news. Kaduna has more gold than South Africa. Google it yourself. This is a headline that will shock you. It is on Google. El Rufai was speaking at the opening of the Kaduna Investment and Economic Forum in the States. He said solid minerals can attract as much as $40 billion. On solid minerals, you've seen the presentation, the minerals we have in Kaduna, but they missed out on a very important mineral, gold. We've just confirmed that Kaduna State, indeed, Benin Gwari local government alone, has more gold than South Africa. This is proven, this is verifiable. We have all the data, and we are collaborating with the Federal Ministry of Solid Minerals. El Rufai said that the investment in mining gold would also focus on the local miners and help them improve and make money. Now, ladies and gentlemen, 2023, 7 years later, did Nasiru El Rufai, leaving behind a debt portfolio of $577 million and over 60 billion naira, did Nasiru El Rufai harness the gold in Kaduna that is more in deposits in one local government than South Africa, which is the world's 5th largest gold producer? Did you see what I linked for you people? I hope this did not fly over your heads. This was Nasiru El Rufai in 2016. One local government in Kaduna State has more gold than South Africa. It's on Google. And South Africa is the 5th largest gold producer and trading country in the world.
Hey.
God bless you all, and that's my last submission for a while. You can open up the space now.
I saw your message. Yeah, that's actually correct. The Californium was not. It's not a natural resources. I did the search and I saw it. In fact, it was due to a natural nuclear radiation that happened about 2 billion.
Oh yeah, but it's a derivable. It can be created. We just don't have a nuclear plant.
Yeah, it was just there.
We have all the prerequisites ready for it.
Oh yeah, it's only.
So I hope everybody saw this Google revelation by yourselves from 2016. Please, I hope you went into that time machine with me. Kaduna, one local government in Kaduna has more gold than South Africa, and South Africa is the 5th largest gold country in the world. I yield. No wahala.
Then you now wonder why
Saddam, you guys should know that El Rufai can say anything. That guy is a bloody liar. Say anything that he says, we take it with a pinch of salt. That guy talks nonsense a lot.
My brother,
an 8, you know more. Louis Lebabes, you know more than an 8-year governor of Kaduna State. I don't know. Something he said in public with verifiable on Google till today. Okay, I'll take your word over El Rufai's. But please make your statement public so they can put it online as well. God bless you, my brother.
I'll probably tell us where you want to go and see your own, and the gold is not South African gold. You went with your own satellite, sponsored by Sweet Angel. satellite dish. You now put it
Saddam, in heaven now, you still there on like 1-bedroom apartment. This one where you talk now, I'm not sure say you get a house now for heaven.
Oh no! Hey my God!
Now Sweet Angel is a solid mineral too.
N6. What I'm saying, there are a lot of crap that
I understand you, my bro. I understand you. I understand you perfectly, real ever best. But like I said, I have no options but to read you data. You see what you said, there is no way I can Google it. But what I said, I have told you where to Google it.
True.
You understand me? There's a difference between
why
DSS.
That said that one local government in Kaduna is more than entire East. So you would take that as truth?
If the governor, if the eighth-year governor of a state told you that one local government in that state has more gold than South Africa, you would doubt him. Especially that governor being Nasir El-Rufai. Look, El-Rufai is a madman, but there are places where El-Rufai's madness, I would take his word on certain things. If El-Rufai tells me burning Gwari local government, and he didn't tell me, he didn't tell his Longinus, that his son that has a neck that that will make a giraffe jealous. He didn't tell Longinus that El-Rufai said this at an economic summit in 2016.
He has no reason. He has no reason
to businessmen, and he was looking for $40 billion. So what I don't understand, though, maybe he was lying to them. Okay, no problem. I yield.
Thank you.
I've shall read you facts and figures.
You know when you're a congenital liar, everybody has to doubt you. They will doubt everything you say. So I know where the other person is coming from.
Exactly. We all agree on that.
But for your minerals in your state, you don't come out. You don't come out and come out. Say instead he will reduce the number safe. He will reduce the number so he can
exactly make it fit money.
Make it thief. For him to tell that it is more than South Africa, if he say even past South Africa and Ghana and the rest combined, so you go steal the one for Ghana and Ivory Coast. Then
if one local government has more than South Africa, waiting the whole Kaduna gets. And then it shouldn't be a coincidence that 7 years down the line, Kaduna ended up in turmoil. El-Rufai left them a debt of almost 600 million United States dollars. What did it prove? That he proved that he harnessed that gold now. Do you know that solid minerals are being exported from this country on a gigantic scale every day? Who is mining them? If they banned solid mineral exportation in Nigeria today, terrorism will end overnight.
I swear.
Terrorism. Solid minerals are being exported from the wharf, not illegally, not through Niger.
Yes,
not
live.
Legally. That guy on TikTok is proving it to you. Legally, they are paying their
one of my friends up here.
Legally.
One of my friends up here, he has the license. So you have license.
Google Chinese mining Nigeria. There are so many stories of Chinese miners in this country. But in the beginning, they told us that they were here as farmers. By the amount of farming Chinese farmers have been coming to this country for the last 20 years, at least the ones in Kwara State alone should be fit. There shouldn't be hunger from this country. So if they were really farming, why do we have high food prices? It was never about farms. These people have been lying to Nigerians since time immemorial. This charade has to stop. We are literally Wakanda of this fucking planet, and we're operating below our capabilities. This is beyond sad. It is beyond sad. We should be running mad in this country. We should be running mad. Saddam, when you go and Google the mineral deposit in quantities, that is where your heart will break. It's not even about the mineral. The quantities in deposit on tap, 700 million metric tons, 2 billion, 3 billion metric tons on tap.
What's your stuff? You look at the one that we are using to brag. Oil that we're using to brag. It is
top 5 oil exporting countries in the world.
Do you understand? So if for any mineral that will be found in Nigeria, you will not find it scarcely. You will see it in quantum. Anything God has blessed Nigeria with, He blessed us to the extreme. It choke anything in Nigeria, choke to the limit. Now why do you say even the criminals he choke? Everything for Nigeria, if he did till max. Now pro max. God is bless us. I just want before I bring in women in Nigeria. I want to put I think I saw a TikTok. I think it went viral. My elder brother schooled in Unimate. My younger sister schooled in University of Maiduguri. I have relatives in Maiduguri as we speak. First cousins, first families. I've been to Maiduguri a couple of times. I've lived in Maiduguri, so I know Borno. There is this man.
Uni made that year, Baba. I don't go to degree like 2 times, so from Unsuka.
So I want to give more stories. So everyone can also go to Google. In the book of Google, there's a house in Maiduguri that they say the house is, I think, 2 times or 3 times more expensive than Buckingham Palace in Borno State. The owner of that house is called Meideribe. Meideribe, his name was written in, I think these 7 different kinds of gold. Everything else is the house of gold. House
But that
of
house now
gold.
blow ovation that year.
Thank you. That house. Please Google about. I think they say is it over? Is it 100 people? I mean 400 people that clean the house. House of gold. Boko Haram. No, they see all those kind of places go bomb for Borno. There are some people that have wealth in northern Nigeria that they don't talk. They're the ones behind this mining and stealing of the wealth of that region. That all they do is sponsor terrorism, sponsor this, sponsor that. You don't see their name. If you call their name, you will never know. So they exist for this country. That are the owners of Nigerian PLC. And our work today is to expose all of them and bring it out for Nigerians to know that this wealth that 1% are eating, please, time has come. Let it reach the whole 100%. Because it is enough so that this country can breathe. Let the poor breathe. Thank you. Well, Nigeria, my brother, if you're here, please come in. I know say we don't. I know say a blessing on your line, so you give us some
Today's
education.
space now lecture.
All right. I mean, I was just engaging someone in the DM that you know, some obedience come here to actually. Meanwhile, first of all, good evening, everybody. Good evening, Emia. Good evening. That NC we don't hear about Jimmy, Mommy Bolanle, Real Level Bear, Harry Watching, everybody. So good evening. So someone was in my DM. I was like, okay, it might also just, I mean, because the violence space today is almost going to. I'll try as much as possible to avoid being too academic. So he was just talking about, maybe you can touch on some of the environmental impact, and I was just telling him that. So first of all, like I told him, anything you do to Mother Earth, any advantage you take from Mother Earth, that's when you use the earth for anything, the natural resources always has a disadvantage. Even as like I was telling him, as innocent as farming. Farming also has, if you do farming wrongly, it also has like a disadvantage, or it also has like some form of impact. So I'll start like this. So no doubt, Nigeria is a blessed country. It's quite unfortunate. What we have is a leadership problem, or what we've had literally all our lives is a strong leadership problem. Because truth is, so these minerals that have been called today. So nobody would, funny enough, you don't really need to go mine all 44 or start to use all 44. If you can even get a government that will just say, oh, in my 4 years, I want to focus on 3 mineral resources in Nigeria. So he probably constitutes a team or whatever and say, do me some feasibility studies and, let's see the ones with the highest current potential, cost-benefit analysis, environmental impact against, economic benefits, and not just do, do for a couple, then we take the best 3 and we focus on that. We mine those 3, set up industries to process them, and from there, the rest is history. From there, the rest is from consumption to production, as simple as that. And you do that, you cite some specific areas in the country, you take away residents and start some industrial activities. You know, I don't like, so like Saddam said, this is somewhat of my background, actually. And I don't like, so talking about it can be somewhat annoying. So in Nigeria, there are a couple of people that study courses they call maybe earth. I think some people call it earth science, some people call it geophysics, some people call it geology, some people call it geosciences, all the geos and all that. So funny thing is, if you go to a typical earth science department in Nigeria, everybody kind of focuses in the oil and gas industry because it's a field that it's quite wide. If you are not careful, there is like environmental geosciences, there is engineering geosciences, those are the people that do like related to civil engineering, there is geochem. There are so many fields there. So, but what usually happens is that when it gets to that point, so typically you see people when they get to final year in school, because of the low interest in solid minerals. So people start to, so you say a final year class of over 50 students, you discover that over 40 of them are doing topics related to petrophysics, you know, petroleum related things. So that's the extent of damage. And what would typically happen if we have a reasonable government, a government that has sense, simply put, that would take advantage? Like I said, it's not, I'm not talking about something extraordinary. I'm not saying, oh, I mean, if I would say a president that say, or a government that say, oh, I want to focus on all of them, I will not take that one serious, to be honest. Just give me 3 to 5. That's all. Do feasibility study, set up industry process. That's all. And so all this is not the same. But bulk of my submission, so NC's mentioned some of the, he mentioned, I think, almost all the, if not all, the mineral resources in each state. So I'm going to just talk briefly, so that if you are here and you are from a state, you know that actually if your governor has sense, your governor can do something in your state. And of course, if maybe, and by the time we have someone like Peter Obi, who, you know, has the mindset of production instead of consumption, that's when we can appreciate some of these conversations that we're having here. If we still have these people that just think, all they think is really up for grabs, like it's very difficult. So that's why I said it's a painful conversation. So I'll just talk about, so entities have called some natural resources, but I know there are some of them that some people probably don't even know what they are used for. So I'll try to sweep through and say the uses of some of them. I know some people, some of the meanings do not make sense. Of course, I'll start from the lowest, but there's one I will emphasize at the end, and you understand why. So not from the lowest now, start from Zamfara, which is like the last Z, alphabetical order. Of course, Zamfara has gold. I think we all know what gold is used for. Yobe has soda ash. And so soda ash, typically, you can use it for glass, detergent, and a couple of other. So I'm just going to mention 1 or 2 uses, because I want to talk about all the uses. We'll not leave here. And like I said, I don't want to go too academic. Taraba has lead. And of course, you know what lead can be used for. Piping system and all those things. Sokoto has phosphate. Phosphate typically can be used for fertilizers. So you know what they call NPK. NPK is nitrogen. P in that NP, that P is phosphate. So that can be used for fertilizer. So it simply means if we can get Sokoto set up a phosphate factory, we can produce so much fertilizers in Nigeria that, and not, it's not just Sokoto that has phosphate. Let's just get it right. That agriculture, we will not be thinking about currently. Fertilizers blenders in Nigeria import a huge part of their raw materials. They import.
Fertilizer is one of the biggest scams in Nigerian agricultural sector too.
Anyway, rivers. I think all of us know oil and gas. So I'll try to avoid oil and gas in this conversation, because oil and gas, I mean, nobody's trying to take off the shine from oil and gas. Oil and gas is the baby of, I mean, if we had a government that had just with integrity focused on only oil and gas, what does Saudi Arabia do? It's oil and gas now. So the problem we actually have in Nigeria is a leadership problem. Is and Peter Obi has emphasized this so many times. It's not the problem. Our problem in Nigeria is a leadership problem. So everything is available. The people, they are available. As in, if Nigeria was, if we just have the right leader in Nigeria, I don't, people will be amazed in what can be done in just 4 years. Not talking about 8, not talking about 16 years. So it will literally blow your mind. So Rivers has what they call glass sand, and it's related to like things like quartz and all that for making glass. Plateau, like Saddam had said, has tantalite and columbite. So both tantalite and columbite are extremely expensive, or let me say extremely valuable ores of metal. Why? They are highly resistant to corrosion. So that's why, like Saddam said, you can use it for producing things like plane, jets, and those things that, of course, if you don't want your plane's body to start to rust, right? So tantalite and columbite, those are like, okay, columbite is like what's it called now? It's like is a ore for steel as well, weldable steel that you can weld. So columbite typically is used for things like transmitters, right? So that's columbite. In Plateau,
My brother, I want to ask you one, please. If you can answer me just later
okay,
on, take your time. There's one I keep seeing that seems to be in all the states called kaolin, Kaolin.
yeah. So
Paint.
kaolin is more like, so there are some clays that are rich in kaolin, so they call it kaolinite clay. And like Saddam said, they are typically used for pens. All these things are used for multiple things. So, but I'm just trying to mention what they are used for the most. So even kaolin can be used for medication. It's used in pharmaceutical industry as well. In Plateau as well, they have what they call bentonite. I'm going to come to bentonite later. I think bentonite is literally one of the most underrated. Is the one,
Bro, I googled that bentonite, my brother. I couldn't even touch it. What is that?
I'm
What
going
is
to
that
I'm going
thing?
to talk about it later, and I can tell you that bentonite, if a government can take advantage of bentonite in Nigeria, can probably pay at least half of Nigerians' current debt if they can take advantage of bentonite in Nigeria. Well, like I said, I'll come back to it.
It's used in every facet of oil
All
and
right.
gas, my brother.
I think you
Hmm.
I think
Continue.
you said it. So okay. So bentonite is used for drilling mud specifically. Bentonite is also like a component of clay, so it's used for drilling mud. It's a kind of, it's a mineral that even countries export, right? As in countries get to import rather, especially countries that do. So for example, Saudi Arabia doesn't, a lot of countries that do oil and gas don't really have like bentonite. So Nigeria is one of the few countries that have both the oil and gas in itself and the bentonite, which is the drilling, is used for doing the drilling mode. And it's specific for doing drilling mode so that the oil well will not collapse. So so that's
God bless
that's
you.
what bentonite is. But I'll come to bentonite at the end of my submission. In Oyo State, so that's Plateau. In Plateau, I said tantalite, bentonite. They have more, but I'm just picking one from each state so that you know that your state has value. Your state has value. In Oyo State, funny enough, so Oyo has cassiterite. Cassiterite is it's an ore for tin. So typically, if you want to get tin, of course, Oyo State also has tantalite. Osun State has columbite. So, like I said, I think I already mentioned columbite earlier. It's a weldable steel. It's an ore for weldable steel that can be used for transmitters. Ondo State has feldspar. So,
Please, where in Nigeria, Osun State
no,
also
I
have
don't. I
gold.
don't want to mention. You want me to mention all of them?
No,
Osun
just
State has
now when you
gold,
say we get
has
gold, call am.
tantalite, has
Gold,
tourmaline.
I say that the Davido family they chop the gold.
Osun
Oh
State
no,
has
complete.
talc as well. Talc is used for making powder and a couple of other cosmetics. So Ondo State has feldspar. Ondo State has limestone. So some people don't. So limestone is a carbonated sediment. While for those of you that did maybe brief geography in school, you know they call something they call igneous rock, metamorphic rock, and sedimentary rock. So limestone is the sedimentary rock, while marble is the metamorphic rock. So it's marble that literally that does wedging to become limestone. Like I want to avoid going to lecture part. So that, okay, point is that feldspar it's really a valuable it's a valuable mineral for it's used for glass, ceramics, and a couple of those other things. Of course, like I said, Ondo State also has limestone. Similarly, Ogun State has feldspar and limestone. Limestone is used for cement. I think everybody knows that. Niger State has talc, like I said, for cosmetic and powder, and they have gold. They also have lead. Nasarawa State have amethyst. Amethyst is actually in the class of gold. If you Google the top 10, top 20 precious metals, precious stones of the world, amethyst is actually one of them. And amethyst is purple in color. It's like diamond, but it's purple in color. Saddam mentioned galena. Galena is is a source of lead as well. Lagos, of course, there's it's in the Atlantics, oil and gas partially. Then Lagos actually has glass sand, right? Kwara State has tantalite. Kogi State has tantalite. Kogi State has dolomite. Dolomite is like the so there's something they call calcite and dolomite. Calcite is like limestone. Dolomite is like calcite with magnesium. So dolomite is a source of magnesium. So why calcite is black, dolomite is why calcite is white rather, dolomite is somewhat black. So if you go to Kogi State, for example, if you go to Kogi State and you see where they are blasting marble, so usually those marble are what they call dolomitic marble. So they have both calcium, and Dangote does that to produce cement. So okay, that was Kogi State, yeah. In Kebbi State, like Isido said, they have gold. Katsina, they have kaolin. Of course, they also have some deposits of gold. Kano State has tantalite, and like I said, corrosive. It's not corrosive. So if we are expecting tantalite, it's crazy. Kaduna, there are so many, but I'll just stick with amethyst. Imo State, Jigawa has butylis. So this one is one mineral that I haven't really, I'm even thinking whether it was a spelling error here, if they meant bitumen, but so Imo State has phosphate. So all places of Dima could have as well taken advantage of the phosphate in Imo State, set up a big fertilizer factory. They also have lignite as well. Lignite is what they call brown coal. Lignite is a carbonated material. It's a source of energy. Gombe has gypsum and a couple of gemstone. Gypsum is also used for fertilizers and textiles, and that's Gombe State. Enugu, I think everybody knows Enugu as the coal city, so let me not go to coal. It's coal city. You know what coal is used for? Ekiti has feldspar, like I said, can be used for glass and ceramics. Edo State, my state, of course, has dolomite, phosphate, glass sand, bitumen. But funny enough, I think one industry, and that's where the British actually invaded Edo State. If you've gone by the issue of Edo State is one of the states that the British found a hard time to invade. In fact, they almost were not going to invade Edo State. But of course, they needed our rubber so much. Edo State is the land of rubber. Edo State.
I said we don't even want to talk within the on top land. Edo has timber. But today's space is under the land. Let's live on top of the land first.
Leave Edo State. Of course, Edo State has bitumen. Bitumen is, of course, for road production. With the amount of bitumen we have in Nigeria.
My brother, the amount of bitumen in this country, we shouldn't have one pothole. Now, that bitumen oil is so painful.
With the amount of bitumen we have in Nigeria, road should be the least of our problem. It should be the least. I think we should not be thinking, we can think about other things, but road should be the least of our problem. Least. We should not be thinking about road. It should be that in Nigeria, if the road they think about spoil, you don't get one line, if you don't fix them, because the bitumen is full everywhere. So, of course,
road and bridge, bitumen and limestone.
Ebonyi has, some gold deposit and lead. Delta State, oil, like I said, I don't want to talk about earlier. Delta State has kaolin, which I already said for paint. Cross River has barite. Barite as well is used as a typical, which is the one people are calling misbarite now. It's used as, it's also a typical component of.
I beg now, misbarite is a solid mineral.
It's a strong component of the drilling mud as well. Then, like I said earlier, Borno State, of all states, has bentonite. And like I said, in the end of my submission, I'll tell you how bentonite can pay half of Nigeria, at least half. of Nigeria's debt if we had a sensible. From some of these things, by the talking with investment, I beg. Benue State has barite as well. Then, of course, gypsum, iron ore, a couple of other things. Bayelsa has limestone, uranium. A couple of these other places has uranium. For example, Cross River State also has uranium. But like Cizo said, there's no uranium activity going on in Nigeria. But you know the funny thing? Hey God, dude, they suffer with. I beg.
Well, in Nigeria, is it that there's no uranium activity?
Okay,
that
we know. Let's put it like that.
Please, that we know. Because what's happening
Exactly.
in the bush, we don't know.
That's true. I think that's the best way to put it.
Emir Saddam. Emir Saddam.
But what I
Continue,
wanted to
please.
say is that if Nigeria could just take advantage of, I know, okay, there's a lot of, you know, I've been to one of the biggest nuclear facility in the world, owned by the French government, and when I came out, the first thing that came to my mind is, this is simple, to be honest. If we had a sensible leader in Nigeria can set up a nuclear facility, of course, there are some standards because of the dangers that is related to nuclear, but of course.
I can't really remember, but I heard Nigeria, stupidly signed an agreement back to not engage in anything nuclear, mining or generation, reactors or whatever. I can't really remember. It exists. I think that is what holds us back.
You're correct.
Both
So
You're right.
You're right. Somebody help me fact check
so
that.
what some of the, of course, those are part of the West, with the Western, this thing that if someone like if Peter Obi was in France the other day when we were having that entire conversation, or perhaps in the next climate summit, you get Peter Obi there and he tells them things like, we need power in Nigeria, and you have said we shouldn't burn coal. So, but we have uranium, and we intend to go into nuclear power supply. Except you want to, I don't imagine what Peter Obi is going to talk for these kind of meetings. I mean, and of course, all those kind of this thing, because you give them no choice. Is either you allow us burn this, do some of these other things, or you give us, some plus and minus. But like I said,
or at least give us a clause for one nuclear reactor for 150,000 megawatts.
France cannot tell. In fact, I don't think there's any world power that can tell Nigeria not to engage. I think the best they can do is that they would need to send people to do the feasibility studies and the safety checks when it is done. That's all. In fact, there is a lot of, I don't understand. I mean, why nuclear is kind of dangerous, but of course there has been many improvements in standard of safety over the years. France has nuclear this all over the place. EDF is there. It's not a this thing. Anyway, like I was saying, what's it called now? Borno has, bentonite, Benue has barite, Bayelsa limestone, Bauchi has columbite and lignite as well, and a couple of so many others. Let me not go into that. Bauchi also has gold. Anambra State has gypsum, which, like I said, fertilizer Pro Max. You'll be swimming inside fertilizers. Akwa Ibom, of course, aside oil and gas, they have lignite as well, brown coal, source of energy. Adamawa State. So remember states that I've said have bentonite now. I've mentioned Borno, I've mentioned Adamawa. There are a couple of other states, but I want to focus on the northern part so that maybe our northern brothers will also know that if we had a sensible government that can focus on bentonite, in fact, South may not go even get time today to talk about, you're going to do your oil and gas, we're going to give you bentonite, plus and minus, everybody will produce. Then, of course, the FCT has marble and dolomite, like I said, and Abia has oil and gas and, of course, limestone. So, coming to bentonite, which is where I want to round up my summation. So, like I said, bentonite is a source of drilling mud. Is a material used to produce drilling mud. And it's exported, a couple of countries usually require it. So, like Cizo said, the reported volume of bentonite in Nigeria currently, which, of course, that's probably the ones that they've discovered. So, it's certainly most likely more. The reported value is about 700 million million tons of bentonite in Nigeria, reserve of bentonite in Nigeria. 700 million tons. Bentonite, as of 2022, cost $97 per ton. And Nigeria has 700 million tons. So it simply means
Jesus.
if Nigeria could have taken advantage of our 700 million tons, like I said, it cannot be less than 700 million. If they are saying 700 million, that's the one that has been discovered from any feasibility study. You know the way geo works is that where you see it, there are more under it. So that's why it normally works. 700 million, and as of 2022, as of 2021, it was even $100, but as of 2022, the price dropped to $97 per ton. If you do 700 million times 97, that will give you $67 billion, or 67.9, so which is approximately about $68 billion. Nigeria's current debt in dollars is heading towards 100 and something, 108, 110 thereabouts. I think the one Punch reported sometime in March was about $108 billion. Which simply means if you could take advantage of bentonite alone, your 700 million tons, that's the ones you've seen, and explore and either export or use in Nigeria, you get, at the very least, let me be economical, at least you will get $60 billion. $60 billion. And with that, like I said, that's about half of Nigeria's current debt.
Well, meaning they give me joy.
And that's just bentonite. That's just bentonite. I'm not, and like I said, barite of misbarite mineral, misbarite mineral is also a component of drilling mud. Anyway, Nigeria, judiciary, I don't know. I think we have a very good opportunity to have a leader in Nigeria that is production minded. Let's take good advantage of it. If we don't, I don't know. It's up to us. Saddam.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you.
Well, meaning God
God
bless. Saddam, no vex. Well, meaning you they give me joy, Baba. You they give me data. You they give me numbers. You they give me joy. This is 1 out of 44 solid minutes. Thank you very much, my brother. Saddam, continue.
Thank you very much, bro. Thank you. It's just important how you broke it down for us to see that every state in Nigeria is viable. I'm just watching. God, I'm watching a video right now about what's happening in Zamfara. Oga Ibrahim, I thank God you're here. I don't know which kind of Nigeria we are running. It is a shame what's happening in this country, honestly speaking. As in, if you see the gold mine in Zamfara, the video I just watched, I'm going to try and find and put it on Jumbo for Nigeria.
Saddam, there are so many instances on Google where Chinese miners were caught illegally mining in Nigeria. And I want to ask Nigerians a question. If Nigerian miners were caught illegally mining in China, how would their fate have been? I yield. Continue.
They are working in tandem with Nigerian this in our big men, the elite class. They work for them. You know, the Chinese just enter Nigeria and know where there's gold. If not, Nigerians have seen it and gone there and brought them in to work for them. They work in tandem with these people. It's not like an offshoot stuff. They do it together. They were brought in by people that saw, I must see there, or come here and work. And when they catch them, they'll not say it's illegal mining. Big men have sat down and we have to open the eyes of our brothers and sisters. Guys, welcome to the Vawulence Space. I want to open up the space right now. Let's take submissions of people who have been up here, who have had I think 2 hours of grilling and breaking this stuff down. Please, for me on this platform and for us on the platform in general, the most important thing for us is to make sure that this information we're spreading here does not stop here. And that's why I wish my head applied. I don't even know hashtag to trend. So I don't know when Nigeria, if you can come up with that, or anybody can come up with the hashtag that can make this conversation go beyond this space and it can be a continuation of it will be a discussion that will be continued after this space into the weeks, into the months ahead. Please, it's important that going forward from today that we keep this conversation as we are looking for back our mandate at the front burner. Some set of Nigerians should not be minding our resources and be taking it for themselves and their families. How can we have gold? What some countries are saying that is the only thing they have. We have it in quantum across the country, diamonds, and all these mineral resources have been called here. And we are saying we're suffering. And we're all focused on only oil. All right, guys, please, you're welcome to the Vawulence Space. Please reach out to the space. Please share the space. Let's get more people into the conversation.
Yes, we are the poverty capital of the world.
Hi.
Blood
And
of
you
Jesus.
see, and you will see people will say, hey, let's pray. Let us pray. Say, God. I want to say something. I'm very, very proud of Dio Adeboye. He made the prayers yesterday. I was part of that prayer spirit. But I want him to change the prayer point. Let him change the prayer point to, if I am in bed with any politician, because that one of is this the power from demon or this power from this. I don't want to concern me where your power come from. So sir, please change it to the politicians. If you're in bed with politicians, let's see that prayer point change to that direction. I want that because that prayer point you raised there is good, but please direct it somewhere else. Because if our men of God are not speaking out, what we are saying here is what we should be saying. It's not like you don't have this knowledge, or you have the knowledge and you're being wicked, sitting down and just be praying to God every day and be saying, may God bless Nigeria. What is God blessing Nigeria with anymore? What will God bless us with again that He has not blessed us with? What? But you guys are in bed with wicked leaders, evil leaders, and when they steal, they come and use people's churches and pay tithes and pay and use as well.
God will give us Peter Obi, they'll bring Tinubu. God will give us someone like Allen Onyema for Air Peace. They'll carry Nigerian money and go and do the deal with Ethiopians. God gave us 4 refineries. Rather than fix it, they started building a whole new one in Lagos. It's maddening.
Did they build?
Then at the end of the day, they
They are
didn't
banking
build.
on a private man's and this. Did they build? They didn't
They
build
don't
any
build anything,
refinery.
you know. They are banking on Dangote's refinery, and that one won't be in operational until 2025.
Go on built 9 in 9 years. He built 4 refineries.
4 refineries in 9 years.
In Nigeria,
in the 70s.
in 9 years.
In the 70s, 4 refineries in 9 years. How much do we have then and now? And you see,
Buhari couldn't service 3 refineries in 8 years. We didn't say build from scratch, turn around maintenance.
And young Nigerians are supporting them. Come here to do.
Of
You think
course.
we're banter with you? I will fuel your car with my. I will fuel your car with your tears.
My tears. My tears.
Let's open up the space before we go.
Saddam, let me quickly clarify something. You know, I've gotten a lot of people in my DM telling me about California is not natural resources. Yeah, I agree with you, it's not. But from my research and everything I've been doing exactly as I said since Thursday, let me read this. California does not occur naturally on Earth. All that there is now has been synthesized, but this element was produced in the past when several nuclear reactors were in operation 2 billion years ago in Africa. So this is the reason why they might be seeing particles of those. Presently, the only 2 places they can find californium is Russia and America. But apparently, it's been discovered in Nigeria. Based on this,
once Nigeria creates a nuclear reactor, it's something that we can actually lab create. So, like I said, we have all the possibilities. I'm sure even vibranium did this country if they check well. Vibranium they here this country if they check well.
Back to you, Saddam.
Thank you. It's well. All right, guys, let's open up the floor right now. Let's take submissions. Thank you to every single one of you on the platform. Thank you all of you doing your own research on your own, because my DM said that when they bomb the DMs, please don't send us on the DM. Post it on the comment section, because at the end of the day, the comment section is one very powerful part of the conversation here that we have here, because we all go back there at the end of the submissions and go there and read and learn. We are all learning also. Nobody has the monopoly of knowledge here. We are learning from everybody on the platform. Please, if you have things that you think, if you know, if you are, some of you never. I think I'll read one or two comments before I move on the floor. I read somebody's comment and he said in Plateau State that I think there's diamonds that the Chinese are mining it and that they have to send in bandits or something like that to pursue them from their area. I think I'm trying to find out. I'll find out comments on the comment section and read a couple of comments. But before then, let's open up the space. Allow people speak. Then I will come to the comment section. For now, I think as usual, we always start with a lady, and we have wonderful ladies up on the platform. I'll start with our normal opener, our opener of the space, Bobby Bolanle. Bobby, good evening. How are you doing today? You have the space.
Good evening, MS Fadam.
Bobby, please, please, anybody that come, please, at least, except you're coming now. Anybody that come, please, you just say where you're from and call your mineral resources one. Just one, name one from the state because everybody that have one.
Okay, I'm from Lagos State. I know we have glass sand, but something else. I wasn't listening. I wasn't listening because I know that in all the states we kind of have the least number of mineral deposits, but it is what it is.
You people have Bola Tinubu.
Beg, he's not from Lagos State. We reject that. Whoever owns him should come and claim him because he's definitely not a Lagosian. He is not. He's not. Anyway, I agree everyone agree from my side. Finally, we have this topic. Okay, where do I want to start? Right, so where I want to start is probably where no one else is going to start. In 1902, I said 1902. Between 1902 to 1906, the Britain started a geological in northern, what was then later on known as northern and then southern Nigeria. They were looking at the vegetation and the minerals. And when they were doing their own survey, they went to a point in finding out the mineral composition of whatever they found, its benefits, its uses. It's been forever there. The British keep their records. It's online. If anyone, I took time, not recently. I haven't done it recently. I have to, it was the first time we started talking about it before agreeing that we were going to do a space. And I found it very interesting, that the way they surveyed, the way these people surveyed Nigeria. Fine, I know now they have sophisticated ways of seeing all of these things, right? But that's how long, right? And it formed part of the reason why when they were dividing up Africa, Britain quickly grabbed Nigeria because they know what is in our soil. The sad thing about all of this is even the mineral deposits we have in commercial quantities, right, are so close to the surface that any mining company will find it very easy to extract without extensive damage to the environment, right? But we've had bad leaders who have not galvanized and taken advantage of how blessed we are as a country. When I was like looking at things then, right, I was like, how is it that we something like gypsum, why are we importing it when we have it in commercial quantities? Why are we importing fertilizer, which it's used for, when we know that in parts of the country agriculture is the mainstay? We have this potential to do it ourselves, right? I looked at when I quickly, because I remember reading something about nuclear um, capability, right? And since the agreement we signed was in 1964 when they came with, I think the Chinese, they came and extracted all the plutonium we had, right? At the time, and we signed an agreement that we would not try and become nuclear power users in the world and what have you. But I think recently in 21, 22, we started talking about it again. We were looking at signing an agreement to have nuclear, at the end of the day, we don't have electricity. Hydroelectricity is not enough. We could use that. Yeah, but I don't know how that's going to pan out. It will need the political will to push that through. My frustration with hearing all the stuff we have is the fact that with high levels of unemployment in Nigeria, right, and the potential, because the world is moving towards green energy, we have lithium, we have uranium in vast quantities, right? We're not, you know, going into agreements with um, um, the countries that will know how to use it, not to come and just dig it and take it and then sell it back to us, sell batteries back to us and all of that. No, build factories in Nigeria so that we can at least begin to address the issues relating to unemployment. Right? Every state has at least one mineral deposit that, if it is, galvanized into industry building, companies that manufacturing companies, not just mining, because mining in itself, if we're exporting, unfinished goods, they sell it back to us 20, 100 times more, at a rate or that it makes no sense, right? In this day and age, we have people who are studying at university. We have Nigerians who know about these things and these processes, and all they need is a government that is ready, right, to take us through perhaps industrialization on a scale that has not been seen in the world. It frustrates me. I mean, my own kind of the area I'm really interested in is when you look at precious stones. I am a collector. It's an interest I share with my granddaughter. And I remember when I bought her a book to look at it, she was like, Grandma, that's Nigeria. Nigeria has tourmaline. Nigeria has sapphires. And when you look at it, it's not just the fact that we have it. It's the fact that we have it in vast quantities, and when it comes to, and with precious stones, it's all about the quality. We have like sapphires, one of the highest qualities, right, in the world. When you think about all those precious stones, right, we have, and private people are going in, digging it up, and nothing is going into the government purse. When I looked at numbers, I was like 0.3%, 0.3% is what the government got from minerals in Nigeria. And I'm like, every state, multiple. We should be getting more than that. But no, what is happening is we have greedy leaders who allow people come in, right? It is not it is not, it is behind the counter kind of stuff, right? And therefore, the people of that locality are not benefiting. And whilst we talk about the north, yes, I agree, the north, but what about the southwest? Is it people? I don't know if somebody remembered a retired head teacher who came and cried on social media. He said people told him to come to Twitter to come and cry. Chinese were trying to chase him off his land. It was because of what it's not about agriculture. It never was. and it's very frustrating, very frustrating, because all of these mineral deposits, if you think about the countries that are thriving, the West and stuff, they're coming and doing it on the cheap, which is what's going on in Niger, and which Tinubu doesn't realize is coming to Nigeria, because they know that there is vast quantities of these untapped mineral deposits that they can come and take. They don't want to come to an agreement where the Nigerian people own 51% of something, and they can benefit from whatever money that comes as a result of selling or manufacturing these things. They want to come cause chaos and do it on the low, and we've been on the wiser because people are trying to just stay alive. Right. And so it's like, when I was thinking about this particular space, I kept on saying to myself, okay, but I don't know about all these big names that you guys have been talking about all day. I'm not going to say I know anything about it, but I do know about diamonds. I do know that in terms of quality of the diamonds, and with diamonds it's about clarity, the clarity of the diamonds being mined in Katsina are of such a high quality, right, that if the Katsina government, right, works with the federal government, right, and stops all this illegal mining and focuses on doing it properly so that it can be listed in, because when it comes to diamonds, there's so many associations that needs to be listed in so that you can prove that it's not blood diamonds and all the rest, right? But until the political will is there, it won't happen. And the people of Castina will just be seeing bandits and all the rest of it, thinking that it is about a religion when it isn't. It isn't. It's about illegally mining those diamonds. I talked about gypsum earlier on, and I'm so annoyed because it is like, if we're saying that the purity of our gypsum in Nigeria is about 90%. Is that basically puts it up as being one of the best in the world. But we're not exploiting that. We are busy importing it from other places, right? Whereas we have like reserves of like 2 million metric tons. We've not even started tapping it, and it's not just in one place, it's across several states. Right. And I know people have talked about gold, right? The thing is, when they list the nations that are kind of, they have the most gold or are mining the most gold, we're not listed there. Reason being, we're not legally mining our gold. We have legal miners who are mining tons of the thing, and no one in that area is benefiting. It's private miners, it's illegal mining, right? And it should anger the people that come from those states that have gold. They should be really pissed off with their government, because they'll be like, how is it that we have all of that? And like I said, gemstones, we have like all sorts. When the book, my unfortunate granddaughter didn't come this weekend, I was told her to bring the book with her, because when we were going through it, we were looking at the different types, quartz, rubies, all I can't even begin to come up with some of the things. I mean, it's like Tanzanite is supposed to be found in maybe one place, but they found some in Nigeria. Maybe not as, the quantity isn't as good as that found in Tanzania, which is where the name comes from. But it's very precious. We have tungsten. Tungsten is used for is what they used for those people going to Mars and all the rest of it, right? It is a very rare metal, but we have it. We have it. It's like, and in terms of gold, if you think about it, platinum, we got platinum. We have it. And when you think about all of these things, and you're like, okay, the ministry is talking a good talk, but they're not actually doing anything. They're not doing anything about all the illegal mining. They're not doing what they need to do to protect people who live in those places where all of these mineral deposits exist. It is very frustrating. I can talk on and on and on and on, but people have been waiting for long, so I'm just gonna yield at this point and maybe come back later. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, man. Thank you. And the answer also, I'll give you a minute so before we go to the next speaker. Go on, bro.
Oh, a minute is perfect, Saddam. I just want to remind Nigerians of two headlines on Google, because we might blame our leaders, but we might actually have another causative factor of all these problems we are not looking at. So follow me to the book of Google. The first one, Business Day of April 16, 2023. Chinese groups bribe militants to secure mineral resources in Nigeria. Chinese mining contractors are funding Nigerian militant groups, basically terrorists, to secure access to the country's mineral reserves, raising the prospect that Beijing could indirectly fund terror in Africa's largest country, Nigeria. And this was a recent statement by the Times newspapers. Chinese companies working in parts of Nigeria where attacks are frequent have been striking security deals with insurgents. And this was a research shared by the Times. So that is one, Saddam. Now, another one is this. Everybody go to Google with me and Google search the following: Chinese illegal miners caught in Nigeria. We have been catching Chinese illegal miners in this country for several years. In July of this year, 2023, there was a busting in Osun State of 27 illegal miners. 13 of those illegal miners were Chinese. There was also 13 Chinese were arrested for illegal mining activities in Kwara State. They have names like Guo Yo Wang, Guo Jiangrun, Liz Shen, Liz Shou Wu, and the rest of them. And what is crazy is their ages range from 36 years old to 26 years old. In age 36, 42, 26, 26, and the rest. But the last submission, Saddam, and I will wrap up in my last 13 seconds, is the last one, which is from 10 months ago. 10 months ago, a Chinese man bags 5 years imprisonment for illegal mining in Kwara. Well-meaning Nigerian, I need you to please listen carefully. Justice Mohammed Sani of the Federal High Court in Kwara State sentenced a 29-year-old Chinese national called Gang Deng to 5 years imprisonment for offenses bordering on illegal mining and possession of crude materials without lawful authority. He was arrested along Sagari Road in Edu local government September 9, 2020 by the EFCC. Now listen to why this is important. He was found to be in possession of 25 tons of crude material suspected to be lepidolite. Lepidolite is a raw material usually transported to China for production of batteries for vehicles, cell phones, cameras, and other electronic devices. A Chinese man is in Kwara State and was caught with 25 tons of a mineral I've never heard in my life called lepidolite. And lepidolite is used for batteries of vehicles, cell phones, cameras, and other electronic devices. Nigeria is such a crime scene. We have 26-year-old nationals from other countries across the world coming here to mine solid minerals in Nigeria that Nigerians have not even heard about. I yield.
Bro, 20 waiting tons you call her. You talk as if say then catch her for
25 tons of lepidolite.
You now 25 tons you they talk. It say they
not 25 kilograms, one name 25 tons. It's on Google.
Then talk as if say the guy put her for pocket. You know how many container 25 tons go be? Say you caught him with. They know. Do you know the?
I know what a 60-ton container looks like. So imagine 25 tons.
You know the logistics.
My brother, have you even heard of lepidolite? My brother, I bet you people from Kwara don't even know that they are mining lepidolite in Kwara and sending to China. People, if you're from Kwara on this space, have you ever heard of lepidolite? Till I read this for you today. But they have arrested a Chinese in Kwara 10 years ago, 10 months ago, and he did 5 years. He's doing 5 years imprisonment.
10 months ago.
It's on Google, my brother.
Months ago.
My brother, lepidolite. If person call you, tell you say make him give you lepidolite. If person tell you say money dey lepidolite, you go agree? You go believe?
I go first slap him because it
You go be like say they whine you.
I go first woz him. No, he knows the name sound like pedophile. I go be like he be like say the guy they shoot his shot or to shoot his shot towards. I go first woz him.
So as much as we think we have our enemies in house, we have our enemies from across the other side of the planet. So God knows how Nigerian solid minerals are being discussed in the underworlds of China, that 26-year-old Chinese get mined to go Kwara, carry in investments, enter plane to go Kwara to come out 25 tons. How was he going to get 25 tons of lepidolite out of Nigeria?
Let me ask you a question. The lepidolite, they put out for suitcase travel.
I've never seen a suitcase that can carry 25. Start on 25 tons, not be 25 kilograms. So
you cannot absorb the leadership of Nigeria. In anything you're describing here, there is nothing that can be done without being in bed with the leadership in Nigeria. So don't absorb the leadership of Nigeria. Anything.
Okay,
your leaders are the problem. That is a simple truth. Don't even come out and
yes, that's what I'm saying. I said, how was he going to get it out of the country?
Your leaders are maybe not possible for them to.
Maybe now he no agree drop money. It is say if he runs the
deal don't change. Deal don't change. Don't change.
Let me ask you a question.
Who built the mine?
Right now? What makes you think that guy is still DJ right now?
Apparently, because they huge diplomatic row, and you cannot find anything on Google about how Nigeria and China reached an agreement. But that guy obviously did not do prison in Nigeria. You
know they're in jail. That night, they don't go and carry private jet, carry and come out for the country. That night, for the private jet, he goes to carry more the pedo night for inside the private
100%, guys.
More go there with them inside. They go
25 tons of lepidolites.
Nigeria is a crime scene.
Saddam, who built the lepidolite mine? Is that mine still existing? He was obviously not the first person to mine lepidolite, and he's obviously not the last. Then ask him, please, sir, in China, how did you hear that there is a mineral called lepidolite in a village in Kwara State, Nigeria? That the person gave you the story to convince you that you left all the investments in China to come to Nigeria and go through that. What, bro? I'm not talking again to the end of this space.
Now satellite.
Now satellite be the Kwara State government official. Now satellite nine be the booking customs agent. Now satellite nine be the person who put the lepidolite for container.
Now satellite take know where those natural resources be. They will now go there to go and make their way towards bribing and doing whatever it is going to take them.
My brother, and a Nigerian government official from a criminal party of drug cartels, now go for the underground, put them for their dark web. Nigeria up for sale, 44 solid minerals, falling everybody.
They get these minerals. Most Nigerians, they don't even know so they get these natural resources. They don't even know what they won't use and do safe.
Jimmy, you will get money. You don't ever wake up like this, just satellite China to check whether natural resource they China as a 26-year-old. Then begin fly, go China, go put your money for there. You see now, if person will not be the governor of China of that state, tell you say how far. If you hold $250K falling free for all, we'll keep them focused on oil and gas. Meanwhile, lepidolite is moving in the open market. I yield. Saddam, I wanted to take only 1 minute. God bless you.
All right, my brother. Thank you very much, guys. Let's go back to the conversation. Okay, please, if you're up on the speakers and you want to speak, your house should be up, please, so we can have an orderly house. I'll come to you right now. Oladipo, my brother, in that order. Let's take a man and a lady in that order for gender equality, because very soon, we know say gender and mineral resources for this country. Oladipo, you have the space, brother. Good evening. Which mineral resources are you operating with? Are you operating from? What are you standing on, please?
You see, August
I also put the minerals on the Jumbotron, so please go and check your minerals on the Jumbotron for your state, and then before you come here, because they've stopped teaching us these solid minerals in school. So, Saddam, the minerals are on the Jumbotron, please.
Good evening, everybody. I greet everyone here, and I say this categorically, it shall never be well with anybody in the APC. Anybody in that party will die a fatal death. I will not pray for you guys because you see, let me tell you something. They've dumped down the intelligence amongst us. They've made sure that even if you have gone to school, your school has become scam. Despite we all knowing that school is not a scam. You see, when this space started, I want to say thank you to everyone that graced our space. We started the space today on renewable energy, and I'm really happy for everyone that came. Jimmy, thank you. That was a very beautiful submission. I thank you, everyone. It's going to be a regular space from 12 to 3 every Saturday so that we can guide people on what to do. You see, I did enough research before the space started. So for throughout the week while we were discussing starting the space, I did enough research on some things, and you see, I felt
I'm
bad.
getting this background noise. I don't know if you can fix it, please.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but it's buffering. I don't understand. Are you using your earpiece or?
No, I'm not using my earpiece. I'm not using.
You, or you're
okay,
wind?
hold on. Just give me a sec. Let me just park. As I talk to you, I am driving. But let me just park. Can you hear me now? Is there no more noise?
And go on.
Yes. So you see, I feel so sad while N6 was giving his submission because I will say this now, please, anybody here under the sound of my voice, go and write today down. It is most likely that the Third World War will start in Africa because the way things are going, everybody seems to be finding out what and why the Western countries are interested in Africa. Let me tell you this for a fact. If by tomorrow, Peter Obi becomes the president of Nigeria and he starts to cut off all these nonsensical countries stealing our resources, I can tell you for a fact that there will be a serious assassination attempt on his life by the Western countries. I can say this, anybody can quote me anywhere. Because let me tell you something. The reason why Bulaba, the imperial puppet, was installed by the West was because they needed a patsy. You can Google the word patsy, that they can definitely manipulate. Show, you know when a baby is crying, you now bring something to divert the attention of the baby so that you can either do something to the baby from the back or something. That's what they are doing to Tinubu. And what they are doing is that they are setting themselves up. In the last 8 years, I can tell you for a fact that the amount of Chinese nationals in Nigeria has increased from maybe around 10% to at least 50%. Let me tell you something. China will never, I can tell you for a fact, China will never deny Nigeria any amount of money Nigeria wants to borrow. They will never deny us anything because it is a well-known silent agreement. We are here. We will take and plunder anything that we want to take. And you have no basis or no right to hold us liable. That is the agreement. Because do you know how many Chinese factories are popping up in strange places? In Ogun State, there is a factory somewhere that I will not want to mention, and I will not want to mention their name. What they are making there, if they want to site it, they should site it near a rubber plantation. But they are in the bush there. What tells you that they are manufacturing what they are manufacturing? Or are they covered up there, mining, digging the ground and taking out things that belongs to Nigerians? I say it for a fact. You see, anybody that cares to listen, go and check. America would rather start a coup in a country where they need their mineral resources. They did it successfully in Nicaragua. They did it in Iraq. They did it in Libya. They will turn them against themselves so that they can plunder what they can take. So, you see, as much as we know and we believe in what we believe in, let me tell you something. For you that thinks that this is a government that is coming to help you, this government is going to sell the pants on your behind to any highest bidder as long as they make money personally. Ask yourselves, why would a country just declare war against another country, a sovereign nation, just because there was a coup that happened in that country? I say it. The mineral resources in Nigeria. Saddam, have you people even talked about the fact that in crude oil, we have 52 different things in crude oil, but they only bring 3 back to Nigeria. We export crude oil. They only bring diesel, petrol, and kerosene. And some people are so daft to still keep talking about one bulaba, one foolish, myopic, senseless imperial puppet. It will never be well with APC in this life and in the next. I'm not mincing words. Nigeria should be a country that should be doing well. We are not doing well because one person decided to take the wealth of the nation and put it in their pockets. I want to say, whatever we do, let us learn and get sense and start to look at what we can do to get these charlatans out of our system. I yield my mic.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, let's go with the conversation. Another wonderful submission there. You see, you just get to learn more when you hear Nigerians speak. Thank you. Okay, Ariwachik, your hands are up, so you have the space, please. In 5 minutes, as usual, you introduce yourself and tell me what you're standing on what mineral resources you're standing on to make this submission right now. Thank you very much.
All right, good evening, Evia Sadam. Good evening, everyone. I'm sitting pretty on uranium, coal, gold, iron ore, phosphate, crude oil, molybdenum,
Off
salt,
your mic, off your
gypsum.
mic. Ariwachik, off your mic. Off your mic. You want to give some people off your mic. Only you.
That is what I am sitting pretty on. Like, I'm from Niger State. Aside that, we get land plenty. When it comes
No
to
wonder
farming,
they
we
say
yakpa.
it gets from local governments or Niger State when they know they fit enter.
Hey, first, thunder
My God.
fire all the Nigerian government that has a hand in putting us in this position. Like, when NCS was speaking, I was just, see, my head was just expanding and retracting, expanding. I'm like, what? Like, am I hearing it? Because when NCS did his own breakdown, I noticed that some were missing. Just like Jimmy said, since when you posted that thing, I just quickly just checked. Like, let me just quickly check what we have. So when NCS was speaking, let me just compare. And I noticed that he missed out the important uranium that is causing problem now in Niger. Because obviously that is what these people want to take from there. So by the time I checked, we had a whole lot. And I can tell you for a fact that they are even mining, what did they call it? Ground in Niger State, where I know someone. Nobody said they tell me. I know someone that he talked to me about what did they call it? He wanted me to set up his farm for him. He wanted to do fish farming because I have a fish farm. So in the process of talking, he told me what he does for a living. Like, I know someone. Nobody said they tell me where they take what did they call it? They mine gold in Niger State. Where the location is what I don't know. But that person showed me even the bars the bars from my state. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I just feel, oh, it's normal. Maybe, you know, it has to do with maybe government is aware, or maybe it's just something that they're doing with government. Like, I didn't really pay attention to the corruption that is in it. And you'll be shocked that maybe, just maybe, you know, it's not something that is even in the open. I was just, you know, opportuned, you know, to know about that because we're about to go into a business deal with this person. So he wanted me to know, because I was like, I don't do consultations and all these things for free. Like, I need to know that my time, whatever we're discussing is worth my time. And I'm not just wasting my time, you know. So he had to like show me what he does, and this is what I was like, okay, fine. So this thing is so painful, knowing that your country has these things in abundance. Not like we have it little, we have it in abundance. And these people come in, ship these things, mine these things, and still leave those communities or wherever they operate in abject poverty. Now, like when NCIS was talking, I was just connecting all the dots. It explains why we have the kind of insurgents and the uprisings we're having in some of these states. Now, it says a whole lot why there is so much kidnapping and killing, bombings, and all those things that is happening in Zambisa. It explains it. Now, I'm just getting to understand. It's getting clearer. Then you now understand why what is happening in Zamfara is happening. You now understand why they are killing our brothers and sisters in southern Kaduna. Imagine, I'm sure Birnin Gwari is a local government that has to do with the southern Kadunas. So you can imagine why then the Benue, the Nasarawa, you understand why all these things are happening now. The dots are connecting gradually. And these people don't want us to understand why these things are happening. And we keep asking ourselves, why is it that the government have not been able to do anything? Now, we are about going to go and fight coup that we had no business with. While we are now seeing all the gadgets, the machineries that Nigeria have to fight war. Now, we have not seen all those things since we've been crying about Zambisa and bandits, you know, terrorizing us here and there. I also want us to know, my brother that just finished talking, and I think even N6 mentioned it when he said Chinese expert. See, it's like you people don't understand. Some people don't know this thing. Let me say it today. Most of those Chinese expatriates that you see flooding Nigeria, most of them are prisoners or ex-prisoners, ex-convicts. I have evidence. I can show you. If you go to, what did they call it? If you go to, there's a place in Abuja here where they have their house. That place is like a prison, but if you don't look well, you would think it's just a house, but it's kind of like a kind of let's say it like a confinement, but they have like time that they allow them to go out to do all they have to do and come back, and they also have time. Hi.
Oh, how do what you go? Please now.
Hey, they come back with the Lepido light.
Hello, can you hear me?
We lost you for like 30 seconds.
All right, sorry. A call just came. So they also have time that they give them or do what they have to do. But I can tell you that 90%, Google it. Google is your friend. Any Chinese person you see or expat, they bring ex-convicts, prisoners into Africa, not only Nigeria. Any country you go to and you see Chinese people as expatriates, if you check all their record, they're either ex-prisoners, ex-convicts, or prisoners that are shipped for cheap labor in African countries. Now, Nigeria is another dumping ground because they know we are corrupt. They know that our government is corrupt. Our government is going to take anything as long as money is involved. So they conveniently ship these people in here to come and work. Now, why do you think we have them harassing our ladies at the place of work? Why do we think we hear demeaning things from these people? Because they are prisoners. Most of them are convicts. They come here, mingle among sane Nigerian people freely at the detriment of our lives. We don't even know these people. Now the question is Nigerian immigration even doing anything in the first place? Why are they there?
Arewachi,
like
some of them are serial killers.
You can
Some
imagine.
of them are serial killers. They've killed a couple of ladies in the north. They've forcefully raped them, and there's nothing the government is doing about it. So you're absolutely right. We spoke about this a couple of weeks ago in Vawulence Space. But go ahead, my sister.
Now you would be left with question like, okay, why is the Nigerian immigration there? Now that is another corrupt department, because I'm very sure that these people will not conveniently come into our country without their no. Obviously, they will also not come into our country and mine our resources and live with tons of our resources without their no. So it's something that is beyond just what the eyes can see. Our government is fully involved in this corruption. And that is why they are putting us against ourselves, using religion and tribe to divide us. By the mention of religion, everywhere goes scatter. When we have major things, major priority that has plagued this nation and put us in abject poverty, that our eyes have remained closed. In fact, the one where they happen for us, now they pay me pass. We have everything. Why do you think most of this, we have just few people that will do wedding as if the world is right under their feet? They have everything, and you'll be wondering, why are these people, why can you count these people? That is because they are also in the know of these things, and they have successfully, sat on our intelligence, made some of us that have not been opportune to go to school to see things the way they want us to see it. And until we rise up against these people, we will remain where we are. We need to understand this thing. Like my head is still expanding and like, how come are these things hidden? How come? Thank you very much, N6. Thank you, Emir Saddam, for this space, because it made me to do research where they had me sometimes to do. But this one, I sat and I said, wait, if they're talking about this thing, there is more to the eye that meets the. We need to check this thing out. Most of these Chinese expatriates are just ex-convicts. In fact, none of them. That's why we have them stealing. You catch them for different offenses, and guess what? They don't arrest them. Even if they arrest them, now just cover up. The minute they leave where that thing happened, they are free. So tell me how government is not involved. God will punish everybody that has kept this country in abject poverty. All the people that have a hand in mining our resources, our collective mineral resources that God Almighty has blessed us with, God will punish you. Your children will never amount to nothing, just the way you don't want the children of the poor to amount to anything. You people will continue to suffer. You will have it all, but you continue to suffer, just the way Kwere Madu is suffering in UK. I read my mic.
Amen to all your prayers. Amen, my sister. Amen. I was just wondering why somebody you see Chinese man, he will not even wear slippers. Will be smoking cigar under Nigerian hot sun and walking up and down. Any sensible, it is the criminal ones. Their brain don't rust. They just say, "Oh, you're going to do your remaining 12 years in jail time in Nigeria, and we'll even be paying you." And they will willingly come here. It's a shame. We have turned to a dumping ground for all Western countries.
For Chinese lepidolites.
God have mercy upon us. Thank you, my sister Arewa. God bless you for that wonderful submission. Thank you so much. God bless you. Please, let me come to you now. Emmanuel, when best you come after Madam Pedro. Miss Barriat is here. Miss Barriat, I didn't know that you're a mineral resources. Yeah, mineral resources in Nigeria.
Emphasis on a solid mineral resource. Solid mineral.
They are found in 17 states in Nigeria. Barrier oil. That is. I have to find where in Nigeria tell us they work. What is barrier? Because the one we have here, her work is to destroy. Is a destroyer of APC. Let's say if we check out mineral resources, then they use big bomb and bulletproof. If we check out where we're now, then they use create atomic bomb. That mineral now. Then they use control. All right, let me come to you, Emmanuel Agadi. You have the space in 5 minutes. Good evening.
Yeah, hi everyone. Good evening. Good morning, good afternoon, and depending on where you're speaking from. Now I'd be confused on whether to start with course first.
My brother, start with where you're from. Start with what? How many?
Start with your state of origin and what you are
standing on, please.
They start that Delta State ID. The oil will that they fight for every day now us get them.
My brother, we're not talking about oil here. You have other resources that are not oil.
We get clay. We get
call all those ones.
Wait till you won't make I thought say we don't get now. Hi God. See all of you that supported APC, including the APC, just know that thunder is preparing. Then lightning, because you know, say thunder na just sound where they sound. Lightning now, it don't dey pass through. Lightning don't come up from Nigeria now. It don't first go Greece, go meet Zeus, make Zeus touch, lay in hand on top am. And then they go meet Shango now, make Shango lay his own hand on top of him. Then Ogun go come add small sprinkles of iron inside them, so that by the time he can't reach Nigeria again, Amadio join his own. Every all of them join all their own. By the time he touch you small, I don't want make it touch you well, make it just touch you small. Ha, Jesus is Lord. It's painful, it's annoying, it's infuriating when you think about Nigeria, because it, there's no explanation to the madness that many of you have. There's no explanation to it. There's no psychiatrist that can diagnose it. Many of you have inherent madness. It's a madness that's ingrained in your skin, because there's no way you would see what Nigeria has and you still go and support somebody as foolish as that. There's no way. Now let me speak as an engineer, right? I I, I studied electrical engineering in university. Now in Nigeria as a whole, let me not even touch mineral resources, right? In Nigeria as a whole, there are like 4 ways you can easily generate electricity. First one, you can use biofuel. Now, biofuel, what does that entail? Majorly waste materials. If you come to Ilepo alone in Lagos, that smelling place that once before you get to the place, you're already perceiving the smell all the way from Yanopaja. Once you get that place alone, can power Lagos on its own comfortably. You come to now, you leave biofuel, you come to water that we're already using, right? You have water. We have abundance of water. Lagos is sinking inside water, right? You have enough water. You can generate electricity from that. Sun every day. Everybody they shout say heat they kill you. You go feed by like 10 handkerchief if you dey Lagos under sun. Sun is there for you. Then now you come to natural gas. With 50%, this was a research I did, I think in my 100 or 200 level, right? That was as far back as 2012 or 2011. You with 50% of the natural gas that we have in Nigeria, you can generate as much as 10,000 megawatts. That's one of the least you can generate. As much as 10,000 megawatts of electricity with only 50% of the natural gas that we have. But what do we do in Nigeria? We export most of it. We flare the rest. And then we now really use maybe like 2 or 3% for normal cooking gas. Just to tell you the level of stupidity, the level of uselessness, the level of mismanagement that we have in this country. See, people are begging people to have sense. Please don't have sense. No, I beg you to have sense. Why do you want to have sense? Don't have sense. Please don't have sense. Keep seeing APC as your savior. They are your savior. Keep seeing APC as your savior. Don't have sense. Don't think for yourself. Don't try to see a country that can be better for yourself, right? Think that things are okay for you. By the time it touches you well, nobody will tell you to have sense. Everybody's some MCs is begging, please have sense, have sense. No, don't have sense. Don't have sense. Rubbish. Oh, I beg.
Bro,
Sorry.
in,
Okay, no,
Una,
do that.
make I help you small. See, you were saying something about the gas. You're saying something about the gas. But like, say people don't understand the analysis where I make. Reserve, gas reserve, what we get for Nigeria, $803 trillion. For 1 trillion, we have $999 billion. Now, if you pack the first to the 50th richest people in the world, first to the 50th one in the world, pack them together, pack all their net worth together, everything where they 1 to 50, pack them together. E no reach 2 trillion. E no reach 2 trillion. is about 1 something trillion dollars. But guess what? We have 803 so may come out the 3 trillion we dey on top. We still get 800 trillion dollars. No be naira they talk. Trillion is on the jumbotron. No, not check. It's on the jumbotron. Back to
Jimmy,
you, Sada.
do you know something that's funny about this thing? Just last year, and I think even this year, Nigeria fled about 645 billion dollars worth of natural gas. Check it, Google it. 645 billion dollars worth of natural gas, and we're complaining about electricity. See, Nigeria
So see this 800 trillion where they talk. This 800 trillion where they talk. This one is just gas, no be crude oil. Now just gas. We never even touch the other natural resources we get, the precious gems, the stones we get. We never even near that one. Just the reserve gas where we get alone.
Jimmy, that thing he said is actually very, very. I don't think Nigeria fled $3.9 billion worth of natural gas in the last 4 years, about 3 trillion naira. We owe 77 trillion. And NNPC, Shell, Mobil, Total, Chevron, and other oil companies operating in Nigeria fled 3.9 billion worth of gas in the last 5 years. It's actually here on Google. I really don't want that to fly over people's heads. We literally just blew it into the sky in a huge puff of smoke.
Yeah, because there's no, there are no factories to use them now. There are no ways to. It's not like oil that you can just.
And Buhari had 8 years and couldn't do it.
Saddam, these things, to set up a company to tackle these things, to harness these things, is not difficult. It's not rocket science.
I say, show me that. Say, Joe,
it's not rocket science. Like, it's not. What annoys me is that people think this thing is rocket science.
My brother. You know. First of all, today we're not even discussing about solid minerals. That's why I didn't want us to even talk about gas and oil, because all those ones are what we know we have. Let us discuss of what we don't know. We know of gas, we know of oil, we know all these ones are which is life for us.
Did you know of lepidolite?
That's what we'll be asking yourself. Do you know of gypsum? Do you know of barriers? That's it. So I'm not even because gas and oil, we know of those things. This is barriers and solid mineral with the space every day. They don't say she's around everywhere around the world. They mine themselves. You don't even know. That is what we're discussing. We let us educate ourselves what we don't know. So gas and oil, we know that one. Yeah, they can be stealing that one. Let us know this one we know now. Thank you, my brother. Okay. Mrs. Barriers, as a solid mineral, I want you to come in, but let me bring you Madam Peju then. You are a special guest. We have to invite a solid mineral to come in person to testify. Let Nigerians know. Say they play the show. Thank you. All right, guys, please, before we go on, I think I've gotten a hashtag. Solid mineral scam in Nigeria. Please, it's on the Jumbotron with a picture on it. A good Samaritan, a Vawulence on the space said, Saddam, why don't we trend this space with a hashtag and a picture to follow it up? So please, guys, on the Jumbotron right now, I just made I just posted a picture and the hashtag solid mineral scam in Nigeria, so that Nigerians can follow up the conversation. It doesn't just end on this space today. I have read comments. Somebody said, I need to record this space and play to my kids. And he says, sir, the space is not going to crash. This space is going to be, when we're done with this space, it will be airing on our radio station. It's also, you can get on our YouTube channel. This space is a space that posterity will remember that some Nigerians came out and educated themselves and the country in general of what God has blessed us with. We are so blessed, the people, that we have no reason to complain or cry about poverty, but lack of knowledge, lack of awareness, ignorance has kept us where we are today. So please, guys, make tweets for us. All of you on the platform. I need everybody. We have over 1,000 plus on the platform. I need over 1,000 plus tweets right now, ending with the hashtag. Why don't we make this more fun? Why not make this more fun? NCT have done a great job, and I have listed all the states with all the mineral resources. So please use your state and name your state, the mineral resources in your state, then end it with the hashtag solid mineral scam in Nigeria. So that those criminals that perpetuate this scam now know that Nigerians are aware of what they are doing with the hard resources that God has blessed us with, and only a few of them are stealing it. So please, you can use, not just use, you have to use the picture and follow it up with the hashtag solid mineral scam in Nigeria. So Nigerians can search that hashtag and see what we are discussing of. Many of them are listening to Big Brother. They're looking at Big Nash. They are looking at how they do party.
You are from Kwara State. You're watching Big Brother. Chinese men, Chinese small boys, 26-year-old boys are carrying 25 tons of lepido from your state to China to make phone. You are here. You are even contemplating doing Yahoo or fraud or killing your girlfriend for ritual. But lepidolite is moving in Kwara. It's okay. Oh. It's okay.
Well. All right, please.
Some people want to invest in catfish.
You have the space now. Good evening.
Good evening, Saddam. Saddam,
before you come in, let me give you your kudos, because you're one person that has been on my neck for the past 5 months about this space. You have disturbed my life for this space. I want to really hear what you. I believe that you must have something special for us on the platform also. Are you also a solid mineral? Please tell us what solid mineral you're standing on. Please, what mineral are you standing on?
Saddam, all our women are solid minerals, so make I know like you.
And six, that sweet mouth. That's why all the girls love you. What does my Mary say? Mary is at graduation, so she's not here right now. She's graduating, so I have to give my kudos to my Mary. What does she call you, so I can call you for her? Ensis, what does she call you?
One name Madu.
Thank you. One name Madu. Thank you. Thanks, Jimmy, my man. Oh my God. Oh God, Saddam, where to start? Where to start? My sister, Miss Barriat. Hi, darling. Our solid mineral for life. Well-meaning, hi, dear. God bless all of you. You violencers, I'm telling you, honestly. I had to take a mental break a little bit from Twitter, besides last night. But I couldn't miss Vawulence Space.
Anyway, guys, I say make I end them here. So if you guys want to listen to the rest of it, please join the Vawulence Space. They're on Twitter and also on YouTube. I'm just gonna play a few short videos and we'll wrap it up. I didn't intend to stay here this long because, as you guys saw, I came in rather early because I wanted to come share some of that solid mineral resource that we have. A lot of us don't know. I did a bit of geography, so I was familiar with some of the things that he was talking about, or they were talking about. So it's refreshing that we're talking about it now. So
I won't confuse your leg. Oh, God. My body is sweet. As I see what they happen now recently, as people I take the day on Judicial. As it be tribunal now, if you announce the result wrong.
They will keep Mike like this.
They like this. So who won is them? Lockdown.
Imagine your life now and say you be part of judiciary.
And like this, you go to do. And no pressure. Where is the front? Come, he said, the other part did the thing. If he did not give it to us, then you go to face Nigerians. Do the right thing. Two non-political parties, two non-political organizations now Now they see yesterday they won judicial. You better do the right thing. Nigerians are watching. These ones now no be obedient to. These ones they no nothing concern them concern political parties.
And again, the judiciary does what is right because Nigerians are looking at the judiciary to see that if they
Give me 7 days, and if you aren't batting an 80 to 90% trading average, then not only do you not pay,
believe be about God. And Nigerians are praying. They are praying for them. They are watching. They are vigilant. We don't want this country to go into chaos for a military intervention. We don't want this country. Tell them that we don't want Nigeria to go into chaos, sudden chaos over the matter at the tribunal or at the court. Therefore, the judiciary must save the country. They must do what is right now and make sure that the people are happy with them. All eyes are on the judiciary, and all eyes are also on the government on these policies that are being shown out as if it is vengeful against the people. I don't know whether it's a vengeance. Suddenly you throw up more than 200% increase in fuel price, and you say you feel the pain, and you are not buying a pint of petrol or a liter. You don't pay. Everything you do is paid for by state resources, and then you say you feel my pain. You can never feel my pain.
You just take judicial. You better do the. In fact, Nigerians are praying for you to do.
Which means they did something wrong.
Which means just the person with INEC, there's no wrong thing. So you have been given opportunity to right your wrong. The other one they talk say nobody can threaten the judiciary.
Who tell us that threat?
No.
Why they tell us that threat?
No, it be like saying the threat are from the other side.
Yeah.
They threaten judiciary from the other side. Now people will get up hand.
Generally across from all these tiers and arms of government, and which is telling today on the lives of the ordinary Nigerians. We will say this, that any threat on the judiciary is a threat to democracy. This is an important tenet of democracy, that the judiciary must be free, must be independent, and then for rule of law to work, we must see it being operated, meaning justice must be done, and not only done, it must be seen to be done. It must be seen to be done. And unfortunately today, no one here today will beat his chest and say that we believe in the autonomy, we believe in the independence of our judiciary. Now, permit me to go through some of the key things we have highlighted for Nigerians and the world to know. First, we have seen it that a senior advocate of Nigeria in a democratic dispensation will tell the world that if the judges uphold justice, there is going to be anarchy. Why not say that if the justices or the judges now do injustice?
Most people have no clue that in 2023, the best way to make money on Amazon is not with physical products.
There will be anarchy. If not in Nigeria, where would you have a senior advocate saying that when the judges do the right thing, there is going to be anarchy? Them and all well-meaning Nigerians are against these kinds of politically incorrect statements at the highest level. And based on this, let us recall on the legal profession itself, the presidency, and all arms of government to come together and condemn these approaches and condemn such utterances before our own judges, whose life might be put into danger if perchance they take what that very lawyer is saying, because it's a democratic and it's a threat. It's undemocratic and it is a threat. Now, more so, not long ago, last week, there was a support group or a coalition of support groups of APC held in Kaduna who came out to tell the world that only God can remove Tinubu from office. Now, for the media itself to carry this is a threat to our democracy. Why do we have a judiciary? Why do we have the election petition tribunals? And why do we have all the tiers of hierarchy of courts in Nigeria? Is for justice to be done and be seen to be done. So for any group to be given a voice to come to tell the world that only God can remove the president from his position is simply anti-democratic, and in fact, this should be labeled as treason because our constitution is the supreme law operating in Nigeria, and then we are one nation under God, but God has given us the instruments of the constitution to be used, and then the relevant laws to be applied for justice to be done and be seen to be done. On this also, we urge on all Democrats, compatriots, Cobdemites, and all who are interested in an egalitarian Nigeria and society to condemn these approaches and to condemn these utterances as undemocratic. Our law enforcement agencies, too, are involved in this because everyone must play their role, their roles according to the game for democracy to work. Now, it is actually embarrassing for Nigeria here, right in the center of the Federal Capital Territory, for us to see two law enforcement agencies, fight each other, trying to take custody of a man who is alleged to be in the possession of firearms. And not firearms, I should use maybe in the plural sense, one or two guns. But then in the same society, in the same country, you have a bandit brandishing weapons of mass destruction and threatening genocide against a particular tribe, and yet pronouncing or claiming to be supporting a democratically elected president. With this is, I would say, an utter embarrassment to our democracy. And then that very fracas, that unfortunate incident happened right in the premises of the courts, and nothing happened. Now, whether we like it or not, this is not saying well for our democracy, and we must all come out to condemn it with our loudest voices, and that's what we are doing in COPDEM. Now, again, we equally urge our lawmakers to consider making the relevant legislations to support our democracy, because without the relevant, needful, and yes, relevant legislations, our democracy is in danger. Now, and especially that judiciary that we are focusing today on is under threat. Now, we are all aware, and it is all over the social media, that a senator in the chambers of the Senate is making these revelations that he had influenced his wife on many occasions to pass judgment or to be of favor to some of his friends and colleagues. Now, for that to also come out, and even in the most noble of all our chambers, arm of government, I think it does not say well of our democracy. And it means our justices and judges, the judiciary entirely, is under threat. It is also important for us to say that we are concerned too by the plight of Nigerians today as it is. That certainly we all know from the background that we have looked at and why even the Nigerian Labour Congress is on protest. Is threatening an industrial action, indefinite one, because of the way things are going. Now, not that it's a major problem. We know these things happen over time. But this time around, with with the incumbent government, in less than 30 days, we witnessed the salary increment for the president, vice president, and other political holders to about 114%. Now, if these are people who have been elected to represent, to serve the people, why would they start serving themselves? It does not, resonate with common sense.
The way judiciary take they behave now, they behave like people who don't hold the results.
Nobody they hold them now.
Let's say the results don't come out. Like jam.
You carry one hand go back because the other one go there. Back up result.
Okay.
God have in case they want come out. They go announce like this.
You're gonna tell the other one, say you're gonna tell you fellow journalists. This one the original. Now this one they give me the now this one Nigerians one. But in the threat they say
yeah. I never say this situation where they like this. I say, when you think there for your people head, you just come out and you do what them want. I say, go to God. And
like they don't tell Yakubu, tell her. So wait till I want to make her declare that way that no problem.
Let them sleep.
As he declared, Yakubu kept shouting it. Go to God. Not my hand, go to God. Let this thing come off of my hand. You go all out like this that day. Say, when you put your hand for this. And this one
God now.
And this one be the original.
You go see the one day in back. Call. You know say I put us night.
Cover me.
Make a announce. I go there your back.
Make a put up for your face. Make you announce. The results they
If you see the way the lawmakers they take them fast for other issues,
you could call them wonder. Maybe you could wonder.
New Special Forces device melts fat like butter. New groundbreaking technology emulates 54,000 crunches in.
Are these people no longer learned to lead?
This small guy they say deformation of character. Under few days.
You
don't give him sentence.
Give him fine. He reached they want to take that. People are going to say, which kind of rubbish is this?
Why?
Now today they begin to do this. Why this one different? You reach our turn, they carry out all their eye put on us.
Come on, eye for other people. You reach our turn, everybody just what like saying na Premier League.
If you reach market, you go see all those old women they sell both tomato. They wear those aprons. They write them all eyes on Judicial.
Not even that I go pay you. You go tell the woman say, how much be tomato? The woman go say, say now it still be 250 for one. They say why? Say they still wait for Judicial. They wait for Judicial. You have like say now Judiciary. Now only people like.
Come. Oshodi, na conductor. Oshodi, okay. Oshodi, 2-5. Oshodi, 2-5. Oshodi, 2-5.
Why now? Why now?
We see the weight of judiciary. Oh, I say on judiciary. At first, when the judiciary do the right thing, we're going to reduce the price. Mamma mia!
Oh my god, this guy's comedy is very he's funny, but he tells the truth. That's why I like his comedy. Let's take a listen to this. This is during Bubu's era, Buhari's era. Yeah, when a foreign government influences the election of another, you have puppets in leadership who are there to pursue the interests of the government who installed them against the interests of the citizens they rule. Now listen.
But we were never allowed to execute the entire operation. So in 1 month, we took back terrain larger than Belgium from Boko Haram. We were not allowed to finish because it came at a time when governments were in the process of changing. The incoming president, President Buhari, was heavily supported by a foreign government, and one of the first missions was to terminate our contract.
Could you name that foreign government?
Yes, we were told it was the United States, and they had actually funded President Buhari's campaign. The campaign manager for President Buhari came from the US. And I'm not saying that the United States is bad. I understand foreign interests, but I would have thought that a threat such as Boko Haram on the integrity of the state of Nigeria ought to be actually a priority. It wasn't.
Why do you think the US would intervene to abort such operation?
Again, I can't answer that. I think that the US can answer, but what I've come to realize that is when a government's foreign interests clash with a state's own domestic interests, conflict is bound to.
Now here, okay. There's another one.
In particular, Governor General, what is said about the role of the Governor General and the attitude of the British government in particular regarding the fear that Awolowo, Okotebo, and the lot of them from the south are dangerous. Is there a particular reason? Why the fear from the British government? Is it that they don't want to release or relinquish Nigeria? They still want to control Nigeria?
They knew that the North would do as they said after independence. If it had any, the North would just, because it was their habit, they liked the British, whereas the nationalists were an unknown factor. Actually, when they took the flag down and hoisted the Nigerian flag, not one of the major nationalist politicians was there. They weren't even on the platform. This was incredible. These were the people who had sought independence. The people in the North didn't want independence. They didn't want the British to leave. So this was a farce. And for most Europeans who were very close on watching this, we were disgusted. We thought this really had been manipulated, this election. It was unworthy. It was unworthy of the British people, this. This was no honest, straightforward thing that you would expect Britain, the mother of parliaments, to do. This was cheap and low and criminal. And I opposed it. And I opposed it then, and I've opposed it ever since. And I'm telling you the truth. And I was warned, if I told you this state secret, my life could be forfeit.
Earlier on, you said the British government wanted the North in alliance with either of the southern region, either with the Yorubas or with the Igbos.
But
without which they cannot
they can't do it
rule the country.
The problem was that Awolowo was a highly principled man.
Okay.
You didn't talk to Awolowo about squalid deals and fixing things. Awolowo was not that kind of person. If you read his books, this man was a world statesman. And his young lieutenant, Chief Enaharo, was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. However, they did do a deal with Zik, Dr. Azikiwe,
Okay.
from the East. Dr. Azikiwe, there was this big problem in Nigeria. It's the same big problem in America and in Britain. How do you get funds to fight elections? The candidates in Nigeria had no money, but they did have marketing boards, which were a kind of semi-nationalized industry. And they borrowed money from the marketing boards. But there was a suspicion that Dr. Azikiwe, who has formed his own bank, the African Continental Bank, was actually bankrupt. But he was borrowing very large sums of money from the marketing boards and not necessarily repaying the loans. We knew this. We had a great secret service. All the politicians' phones were tapped. All the politicians' mail was opened. Everything that any major politician did in Nigeria, we knew in hours. We knew all that was going on.
Are you saying, in essence, that Dr. Azikiwe took money?
He was blackmailed by the British to do our bidding.
Mm.
We told Dr. Azikiwe that he could go to prison if an inquiry was carried out into his bank and his financial circumstances. However, we would not want to be vindictive if Dr. Azikiwe was cooperative in helping forward the plans that we had made in the best interests of Nigeria. Dr. Azikiwe has nothing in common with the northern politicians. He loathed the northern politicians. But Dr. Azikiwe went north, did as he was told, and what he was promised was this. The real power, effective power, would be in the hands of the northern emirs. However, it would look great if the president was Dr. Azikiwe and he was given a field marshal's uniform and an admiral's uniform. He asked, please, could he have a row of medals? But they said, well, no, that was a bit difficult, to get the medals. So when the ambassadors started arriving, he was known to be asking people from foreign countries, perhaps they had a medal for his uniform. We thought this was terrible, but it was said that this happened. He was very vain. And for a time, he functioned as first the Governor General, and then when Nigeria became a republic, as the president. But he had no power. And when he did try to tell the army,
I don't hear. Okay, I'm glad though. I don't hear. Hey. Anyway, guys, I came on early today because I wanted to show. I wanted you guys to listen in on the solid minerals that we have in Nigeria in the different states, so that you can be aware of it. I was aware of a few, but not all. So it was mind-boggling to hear all of that on Vawulence Space earlier. But I'll come back later on tonight. Thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate it. Thanks for liking, for sharing. Thank you so much. I didn't even have to, ask you guys to like and share. You guys did it anyways. I really appreciate that support. I'll see you guys on my next live. Thank you and have a great, enjoy your afternoon. Bye.